All right, there we are. We're live. Hello there and welcome to the Ghost HasLab Telethon Livestream with at SWTVC, where we are not taking your calls, but we will take your comments. Thanks for that line, John. For only, 10,000 pennies a day for the next 5 days, you too can feed hungry collectors and help get the ghost. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. It is the final stretch for the Ghost HasLab, as most of you may know. If you don't, what? Where have you been? Go get the ghost. Otherwise, there's some other things to catch up on at the top of the show. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn that over to you, John, now.
Well, first I'll ask, how are you guys doing? How are you doing, Lewis, up there?
Yeah, good. Yeah. It's been a good day. Can't moan.
Nice. Your collection wall is filling in nicely back there, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my throne room just on the end at the moment. It's kind of temporary, but yeah, there's a few things packing around me, so going to move at some point now.
Nice. And Tyler, how you doing? Ready for the ghost to get flying in back there on your shelves?
Yeah, I'm gonna take these X-wings down and I think put it up top. I'm not sure which I want to be above, the Falcon or the Ghost, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Got a year to decide, I guess.
Yeah.
But and then Evan, I see you got a lot of. Is that a HasLab Ewok Village I see up there?
Thank you for noticing. Yes, I have a little shrine of tributes to HasLabs, past, present, future, and made up. So
and concept. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know
Nice.
folks were bummed that this HasLab wasn't an Ewok village, but Nana Boo Boo, they made it in 1983. So
We would have been at 600 million backers if
yeah,
Ewok Village. So
yeah, we would have been able to start a new colony with the money from that. So yeah.
So just want to say, so last night I did a fun thing, just kind of bring it to the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary celebrations, as we've been talking about that throughout the year. I got to see it in concert, I guess, at the Hollywood Bowl last night, which was awesome to see. They took out all the music from the movie and then they played all the music live on stage. Sadly, they did not play Jedi Rocks or some of the other in-universe songs live. That was just in the movie already. They didn't have a Sice Noodles impersonator, sorry to say.
Missed opportunity.
But yeah, that was awesome to see. I don't know if I've seen it with an audience since the first time I saw it at the special edition 20 some odd years ago. So that was awesome to see. I've seen a lot of them at Celebration and on other screenings since then, but it was cool to see everybody applauding for the characters. And the biggest applause was at the end when Anakin showed up. I thought that was really awesome to see. So,
that's very cool.
He's finally been accepted.
Yeah.
Yes.
It only took 20 years, but here we
after
are.
all this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Still hoping soon will there be an appearance in Ahsoka with the Anakin spirit. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope we're talking about a different ghost today, folks. So don't worry about that quite yet. As for mail call, I just wanted to get some of that out of the way. The Tusken Warrior Deluxe set is arriving from Target in classic me fashion. I have not opened it yet, but I just popped it out of the main box. Lewis has had it for a while, probably, right? It's also showing up in some stores.
Not that long. Yeah, not that long, but a little while.
Okay.
Did you get it before the regular release?
Yes. Yeah. No, I didn't. No,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I think they came in round about the same week, actually. So yeah,
cool.
no, I couldn't tell what come first.
Yeah.
It's not too far off. But have you guys opened that yet, or what are your thoughts on the set?
Do you really want to know? Do you want me to start off being quite negative? So this is obviously the original one we had from one of we had a few versions, didn't we? But from the Saga collection, which I always kind of hated because it's in that fixed pose. You know, you can't do much with it. You've got more than one of them, and that's it. That's all you can do. So when they said they was bringing out a new one, you kind of thought, oh, great, you know, it'd be brilliant. And then, you know, it's great. It's a much better figure. The head moves really well, but it's this leg. It's this leg for me. It's in that kind of fixed. It's in a fixed position. So although it pivots at the shoulder, you can't do anything with it. It can only really go in one position still. So it defeats the object of really any of them being. It's not really any more articulated than this one. And it's funny because if you go, you know, on IG, the guy who does the sculpting for Hasbro, Bradley MJ, is it Brad? He actually sculpted this, and he's got his original, you know, Blender sort of model on there, and you can actually see on his model that there was sort of an allowance for joints on the knees. So somewhere along the line, it's obviously been costed out, hasn't it? But yeah, it's for me, it's a slight miss because of that. But it's a nice, it's a better one than we had, but could have been better.
Nice.
But there you go. That's my rant for the day. I won't moan about myself. There you go.
now my hopes are sufficiently low for when I open it, so I can only surpass that. You know.
I will say, since Lewis, you got that in first, and I know you'd mentioned that, and I'd seen that, you know, I'd braced myself for it not having that kind of knee articulation or whatever. And I opened it up the other day, and I was quite pleased with it overall. But yeah, that the lack of articulation in the legs is a bit of a hindrance. But I do really like the swivel and the like shoulders and the hips for it.
Yeah, I think if that one leg hadn't been bent quite so much, I don't think it would have been as bad, because if you had a couple of them next to each other, they're more static, but at least they look normal.
Or if
whereas they're both in the same fixed pose, and you know, two of them together, it just looks strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's for me where it fails. But
it's a rare opportunity or a rare moment where I thought, hey, Hasbro, maybe look at Mattel and what they're doing for the dinosaurs and how they're articulating those, because I think that would have been appropriate for like these beasts. So
no amazing running poses coming on the Massive anytime soon, sad to say, but there's some other fun stuff arriving soon. The Cad Bane wave, which also has Moff Jared with an extra capital J, the 9 Nun repack, and who's the other guy in that wave? Tusken. Yeah, Nomad Boba, whatever you want, Dune Sea Boba, whatever he's called this week. So that's arriving from Amazon, I believe, and showing up for some folks at Target. My Entertainment Earth wave case still shows October, so about a month. Who knows? Could come earlier. And Pulse updated to September 7th, up 8 days from September 15th. But Evan, I know you got these. What do you?
I did. I got them all in from Amazon. I just order, usually from Amazon, I'll sometimes order just one of each, since Amazon usually ships things horribly and they show up a little bit the worse for the wear. They actually all showed up okay. A little bit of veining in the cards, but I'm going to wait until I get in my Pulse order to kind of figure out which ones I want to open, all that. Cad Bane, I cannot wait to open this guy. Obviously I can, because I got it in yesterday and I'm sitting here holding it up carded today. But one thing I did notice was on Jared is the white. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's got the white crud on it
for his head.
Real bad. And it was the only one of this set that had that. So I don't know. I know they've talked about it. People have mentioned it to Hasbro, including us. I guess we just keep sharing and making sure they're aware that it's happening.
Much like Jared, we need to double our efforts.
Double our J's.
Yeah. So I don't have any of this wave yet, but Tyler, do you have any of this wave yet? No,
I just got the Death Star 2 wave, Death Star 2 Vader wave, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Yeah, he's great looking.
Yeah.
Vader, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
As usual, I need to do my soft goods customizing, so
we'll wait for the video.
Break out the old iron, yeah.
Very, very excitingly, though, look at all this material I have.
Ooh!
Oh my God!
Look at this! Look at how many different inner tunics I can make with this.
When are you going to quit your job and then start being an seamster?
Seamster. Yeah, because I wouldn't be a seamstress, right?
Oh, you can be whatever you want to be, but I'm just curious because I feel like you would probably actually ship orders. So.
Oh man,
sorry. Yeah, no, I would buy some from you though, Tyler, because my Vaders, I don't mind the stock capes, but if I would extra,
rapidly get overwhelmed and end up quitting the hobby like some dude whose account was like something about metal. I don't know, being expensive.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
I don't know.
He got overwhelmed quick. He made some good stuff, but he got too popular too quick. Nice guy though.
Agreed.
So.
But yeah, speaking of too popular too quick, I guess, I don't know, the N1, very popular item. It's one of these large items that is starting to arrive for some folks much earlier than anticipated. The N1 starfighter from The Mandalorian is processing at Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store, and I believe some of the British shops, Lewis, right?
Yeah, they've given us like the pre-order notification from Pulse. I'm not sure about some of the fan channels, but I think it's still a couple of weeks out at the moment. But yeah, it's definitely incoming.
A couple of weeks sooner than the 3 months that it was supposed to be. But yeah, everywhere still shows it as December, even EE and Big Bad Toy Store. What's up, Carla? Has too many Jareds.
He's here.
That's not an accident. That just means that you'll have more captains in your collection. You just need to swap out the heads to make them randos, you know.
I can't watching these movies now. I can't stop looking at the damn rank badges. I know we're going to get into it at some point, but
oh my god, my
welcome
eyes,
to me like 20 years ago.
I know.
My eyes just lasered, like just fall on code cylinders and rank badges now, and I'm like, I don't care, but why can't I stop looking?
But you do.
But watching Return of the Jedi, it's nice that Jared is all over the movie with my boy Simalu, so I need to get him out there now. But
finish 96.
And yeah, Piet's all over the place. So those are the two main Return of the Jedi guys. So getting going. But back to the new stuff. Big Bad Toy Store is also processing some Remnant speeder bike orders. I guess I don't think any of us have got that on the way yet. And some large items have been pushed 2 weeks later than anticipated. So Jabba's Court Denizens, the Velkin pack, now shows September 29th. It used to show September 15th. And Boba Fett's Throne Room on the US Pulse shows September 15th, pushed 2 weeks from September 1st. It was supposed to ship yesterday, I guess. But of course, as always, Lewis, you've already got yours. How do you feel about the Throne Room? You've had some awesome shots.
I love it. It's a great piece. I mean, I know they talked about it potentially having, thinking about making it a HasLab at one point. I think it as fantastic as it is, I think it might have been a little bit underwhelming as a HasLab, just knowing what we've got coming and what we've had. So, don't let that take away from what it is. It's fantastic. But I think knowing what we've got coming with a Ghost, you look at this now and it's definitely not on that same level. So I'm glad they did it the way they did it, certainly. But it's great. I mean, it's the level of detail in it is just fantastic. And for me, as someone who likes to take photographs of things, I just love the way that they've put the slots in the top so you can play around with the lighting on it and you can get those shadows on the back and you can, really cast some shadows across it, which for me is where it wins, actually. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. And you've already had some great shots with both like Boba Fett set up, Jabba set up, and a vintage Kinner set up. So you got all the bases covered.
So yeah, that was Corey wanted Corey over on the retro group wanted to see see us out with some Kenner figures as well. So I said why not? Let's give it a go. But no, I've got Fat Bibs on there at the moment. He's quite happy sitting there in that throne.
Doesn't want to stand up anytime soon. I'm looking. It is currently back up for pre-order. It's kind of coming in and out, but to that point, there's a lot of stuff hitting right now, as we all know, so much that it's time for I guess, hashtag SWTVCPSA, as if we needed any more letters in there. But while we would never dream of telling people what to do with their money, might we suggest that most of this stuff should still be available for the next few months at least. I know we all, as collectors, we all want everything the second it's out, the second it's released, the second we see Tim's YouTube reviews that he gets from Asia 3 months before everybody else. But we are in no way telling you, Tyler, I want to be clear about this. We are in no way telling people to be clearance vultures. That's worse than death for many people. But a little
punishable by death.
Yes, it should be. Yes.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So, but maybe a little patience could pay off here because conveniently we are coming up to the holiday season. Maybe the perfect time to beg your loved ones to help foot the bill for the N1. Ask Santa Claus for the Jabba's Court Denizens pack if you have to. Just because the Ghost campaign ends this Wednesday night and is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It will never be available again at these prices. So if you're one of these people that are, spending ungodly amounts on custom parts and pieces, Tyler, if you're shipping Thrawn halfway around the planet to get some accessories for him, maybe we can pause on that for a little bit until after Wednesday. They'll still be there. 3D printers will work just as well in a couple months.
It might be
if you're on the ramen only diet,
a sneak peek for everybody out there.
Nice.
Coming soon. Can't wait. But anyway.
But if anybody else can wait, I'm just saying if you can foot the bill for all of it, that's fantastic. If you can't, I'd say maybe prioritize the Ghost, maybe prioritize the thing that's not going to be available ever again after 4 days from now. If you're getting it, just throwing that out there.
Yes.
Of course, That item is the Ghost. And how many backers do we have right now? Let's refresh.
Ooh, good question.
12,727. Hashtag get the Ghost. There has a nice uptick over the last couple days. It's just nice to see. Look at that thing. Look at that thing.
Beautiful.
Some of these new paint models as Evan's going through the images here. Thank you very much. Of course, we got the Ghost itself. It's got the included Harrison Dula figure unlocked with the base offering at 8,000. The Ezra Bridger figure that unlocked at the first tier of 11,000. Look at him there in the gunner seat, looking great. Dreaming about that pathway to Paradia, whatever is going on. So we still need to hit 14,000 backers to get Kanan Jarrus so they can recreate their training scene on top of the Ghost there. We personally never centered around a hashtag. Yeah, we need that.
We need that guy.
How can you have
we
Kanan?
Need him. We need him.
How can you have Hera and Ezra without Kanan?
I will pull a Padme and die of sad if we don't get this Kanan.
I genuinely think if we hit it, I think we're going to see an even bigger jump quicker, like, a quicker sort of spike up. Because when you look at our SWTVC page, when we posted the recent pictures of all of the figures, he did really well. I mean, compared to the other figures, he did really well. Actually, and Zeb did as well, to be honest. So it seems that he is the one that most people have got their eye on as not wanting to miss out on, to be honest.
So in terms of their call signs, their Spectre call signs, Kanan is he Spectre 2? Which call sign is he?
I should know
Does
this.
anybody
I don't
remember?
He's one or two. He's one of the because he was the first. So
because Hera's one, right?
Yeah,
she's definitely.
And she's been with Chopper forever, but Kanan was the first one to get recruited to the
so he should be Spectre 2. So basically, what I'm getting at here is that Ezra came, after he has a higher Spectre number. So it seems to me like they intentionally put Kanan second, so that you would have to go through Ezra to get to Kanan, because they probably figured that Kanan was going to be the most popular, character.
Yeah.
In my mind,
he's always the
that was intentional.
And I believe he's usually the highest ranked out of the Ghost crew in March Madness when we do it. I believe him and Hera are usually the highest. But so we need to. So we personally never centered on a hashtag, but hashtag capture Kanan, hashtag clamor for Kanan, hashtag keep up for Kanan. Hashtag keep backing, but a lot quicker for Kanan. I
As otherwise, just pointed out Kanan's number 1.
Oh, cool.
Spectre 1.
Nice.
We were wrong.
I feel bad for just throwing
man.
clamor for Kanan out there on the podcast. I should have typed it out because in my mind it had a C on it because it sounds the same. It doesn't need to be changed. I hate it when C's are changed to K's so much, but whatever.
It works.
That's your bias towards the audio format showing, I guess.
Yeah.
But so after that, we're fine with this hashtag. We need to hashtag zoom to Zeb at 17,000 backers. Look at him there passing through the Ghost on another mission. We need him there. So yeah, these figures all look amazing. It was nice to finally see some more high-res images of them. They released these images of them in the Ghost a couple weeks ago. So,
I bet you Zeb is going to be a big figure.
Yeah.
I wonder how he will compare in terms of scale with Chrysanthemum, for example.
I wonder. So
and it's interesting. He's on a card, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's coming on a card.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That would have been hilarious if they put him in a deluxe box. I would have been upset.
but still with the mural artwork, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As Carla says, we got to get to Zebentine. Love that one.
After a little sneak preview there.
But so got to reiterate, these figures are exclusive to the HasLab. Hashtag don't tell me what to do with my money, Kanan. So people have been unclear. We keep bringing it up. A lot of people have been bringing it up this weekend that,
Sorry.
These figures are exclusive. We clear because apparently any distractions from that point get very confusing for people very quickly. So we got to hammer the point home into everybody's heads. These figures are exclusive to the HasLab. People seem very unclear on that, even with lots of clarifying statements from Hasbro in the recent Q&A sessions and live stream. Real quick, I guess let's say hi to some people in the chat. I see Tim joining Boss Bunny. How you doing?
Hello, Tim.
Tim.
And then we saw
Nice to
that
see you.
Carlo is here.
Carlos here. Hello, Carlo. I bet you're on Mando duty right now.
Toys are the way.
Dan, yes, thank you for joining.
Yeah, I can
base.
keep scrolling through
Daniel
here.
Charts. Yeah.
But,
you say them when you click them because it's.
oh yeah,
I'm confused enough as it is here.
Daniel Chart.
I'll be
I
right
like the
back,
confidence,
guys. Sorry.
Daniel. I think you're right. I think we will hit 20,000.
By the end of the stream, let's hope.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right.
So thanks everybody for joining in. So Tyler knows it, so he doesn't need to hear it. But these figures are exclusive to the HasLab. So we've gone over this on some posts on Instagram and just posted them to Facebook yesterday for that crowd if you're not on both sites. But there is a time jump in between Rebels Season 2 and 3. So the entire Ghost crew used that time to update their wardrobes, meaning the animation team updated their character models. So basically everyone has a first appearance as seen in the start of Rebels Seasons 1 and 2, and a final appearance as seen in the end of Rebels Seasons 3 and 4. There are disguises, subvariants, they wear different helmets. Sabine changed her look more than everyone else. Ezra and Kanan had the most obvious transformations with their haircuts and, Kanan growing a beard that everybody's aware of. But Hera and Zeb changed their outfits as well. They all had new looks, except, Chopper, of course. But so in this series of posts, we compared their variants appearances. You can see Hera here. Her Season 3 and 4 figure from the HasLab is right there in the middle. You can see how they could probably use some of her legs. We ran over this. I don't have it all memorized, but we can reuse her legs for the Season 1 and 2 version if we like to. But she will need a new torso, some new arms. They could probably reuse the head, so they can reuse some parts of this. And later we'll show the other Hera figure that was added from the Ahsoka series, which is completely unique, aside maybe from the head and hands. But will allow head and hands to be not exclusive. Yes, Howlrunner Base. I know it's shocking, but
you will be amazed how many people were still asking that yesterday when we posted the clip from our Q&A. People were still saying, really? What? The exclusive? And you kind of think, how many times have Hasbro said this?
More than questioning it, they were outright denying it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe them. They're just going to release them later anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Yeah. So I don't know how many times I need to say this, but so Hasbro has made the Ghost Crew's first looks from Season 1 and 2 in the 5 POA line and in the 6-inch Black Series, but they have never offered their final Rebels looks in any format until this HasLab. Like we say, it's possible they'll reuse parts of these figures to make their start of Rebels appearances, but these end of Rebels looks will not be offered in the vintage collection again. If we can go through the other the character comparisons that we have.
Sorry, I just put some photos here of the figures to really just drive the point home. Look at it. Look at it.
Just look how amazing these figures are. First of all,
it's perfect.
These figures are stunning, though. I mean, you have to say they are great looking figures.
I really like I like this photo, but I really like this that they've started doing this again of showing the figure with the accessories laid out, so you really get to see what you're getting, and I think it's quite nice. So anyway, sorry to digress there.
It bears repeating, but so with Ezra, people thought he just cut his hair and they can reuse the exact same costume, the same exact body sculpt, but they really cannot. And maybe some parts of his feet or hands or something like that. But when they did the panel at Comic-Con, which I wish they would have released that as a video other than just everybody's streams that were there, they talked about his torso being unique because you can see in the image there the hologram that Sabine watches in the Ahsoka series, which was filmed during the end of Rebels as he's going off to defeat Thrawn. They shortened his collar for the live action version a lot. It's supposed to be the same outfit, but they shortened his collar and they called out the collar in the panel at Comic-Con. And then they got rid of the yellow stripe that goes down his chest. So I think it's still a sculpted detail. So I think Ezra is maybe one they can get away with by sculpting a new collar and then saying it's the Ahsoka series version. But this version will not be available again with this exact costume and those accessories.
They got rid of all of the yellow accents on that shirt. Sorry, just looking at it. Around
on the
waist
cuffs
and
as well,
on the The Black Series version of this figure, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but it's mentioned that it's based on the hologram appearance. So, but we'll talk about that when we get to balance the scales. So,
and they got his lightsaber wrong because it has the anyway.
As I say, Tim's made an interesting point there about how they make him a foot shorter. But obviously, recently they just announced, or Emily noted, didn't she, that Thrawn, they've actually made him a little bit taller than the other Imperial officers because he obviously is taller. So there must, you would hope that there must be a means to make him shorter, in the reverse way that they've done that. I would hope, because I'd be disappointed if he wasn't shorter.
Yeah, for those with a keen eye, when you look at Thrawn's upper legs, he doesn't have the sort of what are they called? Yodpers or something like that?
Yeah.
Jodhpurs.
I might be pronouncing that wrong, but he doesn't have the big poofy, pants. They're kind of just close to his legs. So that's how you can tell that they're separately tooled pieces. So he will be taller.
Sorry.
I'll just say on this. Oh yeah, you go. Okay.
Oh, it was just talking about the minutia of the Imperial officer things. We keep calling it a hat for them. I've been corrected multiple times.
Right?
Yep, that's what. Yeah. So anyway, just want to throw that out there. We do listen. We pay attention.
And real quick, there was a comment about the numbering for these figures. Did someone ask during the Q&A what they would be doing with the numbering, and they said that hasn't been determined yet?
They haven't decided.
I think they just don't know.
Yeah,
it would be cool if they did a Spectre 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 type of situation.
That I had not considered that, John.
That would actually be cool.
I like that.
There you go. Yeah. You can get them all when they re-release a sail barge, yes. Which is definitely a thing that's going to happen.
Or when they redo the Rancor for Black Series,
Yes. So just for Ezra, I think more than just getting, shorter legs, they're going to have to, the only parts that are really, this could be reused are some of his hands, his left forearm, feet, and upper thighs. But most of season 1 and 2 Ezra would have to be new. So hopefully they would make that time to make him a little shorter. Yeah.
And the helmet opens.
But love the helmet that opens up. And we saw that in the Ahsoka series, which was awesome to see. Sabine still has that in her room.
He's got the appropriate lightsaber, as you called out.
I wonder if
the white love cat.
The what's his name? The Nick Sant that comes with the Endor bunker has it's just a removable helmet, right? It doesn't swivel up like that.
Correct. They did a flip up helmet on one of the Scout Troopers years and years ago. I believe it was in one of the 10 sets around 2006 or 7.
Yes.
But that was not the helmet itself was not removable. So they've done removable helmets and they've done flip up visors, but never on the same helmet until now.
Yeah, that's really cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a example of a well done removable helmet for sure.
But I'm just saying, so that's not a repainted helmet. That's a newly tooled one for this figure.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can go to Kanan now,
maybe.
Sorry,
there's more Ezra photos.
It's got the white Lothcat. We're in a peak Lothcat content era right now. So,
my girlfriend, when we were watching Ahsoka together, she loved the Lothcats in Rebels, but then seeing it in live action, she was like, "Oh, I want one." I was like, okay." It's cute.
So Kanan, in addition to growing a beard and going blind and wearing that helmet, they could reuse the upper legs because he has different boots. They could reuse his pelvis area, his belt area, and the upper left arm. But the head, torso, right arm, lower left arm, and lower legs would need to be newly tooled for that Kanan figure. Maybe they could reuse the feet. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, so there's more. So there is some reuse they can get out of here from some of the legs and arm parts, but they would need a lot of new tooling for that. Yeah, because he's got
happy just to get one for the moment. I just want one in TVC at least.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's get to the one before we start thinking about the others. But
yes, he would be cool season 1. Yeah.
But you can see him, because the right arm in the season 1 and 2 of Rebels had the armor on it, and it was cool. And spoiler if you're not completely caught up with Ahsoka, but Jason has a little similar shoulder armor on his right arm as well, which is cool to see.
I was just wondering about that. Do we think it is Kanan's, or is it just a version to mimic
I saw that because I think it's so small that it
Yeah,
would
it's
probably
very
be
small.
like he saw a hologram of his dad and he's like, I want that too.
Yeah, I don't
So
blame
it's
him.
a tribute either way. Yeah.
Just want to say I see the lightsaber and the hilt here, and I'm gonna unback all my ghosts if that lightsaber doesn't appropriately split. So kidding. I would never.
That's
But
such
now-
a
so in
cool looking
season 3 and
hilt,
4
though. I love it.
Yeah. Because in season 1, especially, he was hiding it, so he would split the lightsaber in half and kind of have it in separate parts of his belt so that people wouldn't know it was a lightsaber. But by season 3, he was kind of just wearing it openly like this, right? Or at least the figure is anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, I just all this lightsaber talk, and I totally
Here we go.
forgot that I had brought a piece of decor and I never set it out. It was my Galaxy's Edge Ezra lightsaber.
Oh.
So
Too late.
not that
Moved
anyone
on.
cares.
Nice.
It's for me though. So
But yeah,
look at that
Kanan is
figure.
probably my most wanted figure of this set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, you
like
get
you
these
said.
comments. You know, you always used to get these comments like, "Oh, look at that figure! It looks so good. It could be 6-inch." You know, you kind of like these figures now are just blowing 6-inch out of the wall. I mean, that comment just does not stand at all. I mean,
And
that
these
figure
are just-
looks incredible. Looks incredible.
Yeah, you keep seeing comments like, I can't believe that's 3.75. It's like, they've been good for like quite a while now.
Exactly.
Where
You've
you've
been
been.
paying
And now
attention.
Get
Now
over
they're
it.
actually more articulated than the 6-inch ones too,
yeah.
with the thigh cuts.
Yeah,
Still
fire.
interesting.
I'm still
So,
curious about
Get used
that,
to it,
but
Sixer.
figure it out. Yeah. Oh man, this figure, man, it looks just it's everything I've wanted out of a Kanan figure. So yes,
It looks
clamor
so good.
for Kanan, I guess is what we're going with.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes it
Yeah,
worth
it's
the wait. We've waited such a long while for these, but you know, to see them done this well, it does kind of make them worth the wait. If we
I
get
should
it,
mention
again-
too. Sorry, go ahead, Lewis. My bad.
No, sorry, so I was just saying, as long as we can hit that tier, but yeah, no, go for it.
I was just gonna say I can't remember the guy's at, so if he's here in the chat, forgive me. But there was somebody who mentioned he actually mentioned it in a couple places, but he mentioned that Evan, can you go to the picture of Kanan where he's got his mask off and you can see like his eyes?
Oh,
Oh yeah, because it's
Yeah. Nope, not that head. The other head. The ponytail head.
did they add that picture in? I don't know if they added that picture.
they gave us so many photos, and
You can see it
oh
on
wait,
my.
it was right
photo.
there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there
it was
you
the
go.
next
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So somebody had commented, shouldn't he have the, lasered blind eyes on this head sculpt as well? And Emily actually replied to the comment on Instagram and said, we can fix that, or whatever she said,
Very cool.
something along the lines of that. So that'll be addressed for anyone who's like, it's incorrect, it's not accurate. Like, they're gonna fix it. So yeah,
That's good to know. I hadn't seen that.
go get your ghost.
Totally didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. I've been overwhelmed with information so much that I just
I know,
miss
I know.
these things. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning
Yeah.
that. That's
No
why we
problem.
do these things, isn't it?
It's just a nice little
I wanna-
detail that that they're paying attention to.
Yeah.
So whoever that was that shouted that out, good on you for noticing that.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yes.
So
Can we highlight this Riley Bob comment right here?
Yeah.
That they just posted. So it says, which way is a popular vote going for display of Kanan? Ponytail or shaved head? Personally going shaved head. What do you guys think?
I'm definitely
Back
gonna
if-
go ponytail
Yeah, I'm doing.
Yeah, I
ponytail
don't
on
know.
that.
because he was only shaved head for like what, 1 or 2 episodes, right? Like
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
episode,
for
I think.
the
Yeah.
very end.
So
Well,
I'm gonna
that's
go
why
with
you
his
gotta get
99% of the
multiples.
time. Look,
I was just going to say that. That's the reason you want to buy them all and open them. Don't keep them
Yeah.
carded.
Very
Just open
true.
them all.
Get a third.
Yeah,
Get a third ghost. Yeah.
Yep.
This is a figure you almost need 3 of, isn't it? Really. So
Yeah. And then
What's a
his
cool
toys are the-
$1,500?
So, but once we get this version in, then that unlocks, future versions of season 1 and 2 if they want to get the pants in. Not to get too ahead of ourselves, but I think Kanan is definitely within reach.
Mhm.
And then as
Yeah.
Toys of the Way points out, a version from the Malachor Twilight of the Apprentice episodes that we've talked about on the podcast a few times recently would be awesome, because then he could when he has that like the Temple Guard helmet on after he gets blinded, or like the ancient
Yeah.
Temple Guard helmet, that'd be awesome
Yeah.
to see as well.
yeah, I would love that for sure.
But yeah, aiming for Kanan.
it works pretty well.
Yeah, I like that.
The shaved head does look cool, but all right, shall we go to Zeb? Anything else on Kanan? I'll say real quick. I know with all the foofara, all the hubbub about the removable helmets, I do appreciate that his mask is removable and not a third separate head. I'm already swallowing my issues with the head and the bubble, but it works.
Well,
it's
my
also cool
complaints
because he can hold it in his hand, like that picture.
Yeah.
Too, so.
My complaints with removable helmets, though, it's not a blanket statement where it's like they can be done well. I personally, that's where I'm coming from. It's just I take issue with it or have trust issues because there have been some real big swings and misses. But
sure. But yeah, when it works, I'm glad that they did it in a way that works, I guess.
I do want to say, just since you mentioned that Emily jumped in talking about the battle scar on Kanan, and Hasbro has been very involved and with their ear to the ground throughout this whole campaign, even if you may not have thought they have been. They've been listening. They've been chiming in quite frequently on stuff. They've done, these multiple Q&As through it. And and then, speaking of waiting for things a while, we did just get these nice glam shots of the figures just yesterday. So I'm glad they did finally provide those.
Yeah, and that definitely seems to have kicked off like the surge that we've been seeing. It's a small surge, but I assume it's
it still checks out.
So for Zeb, there he is, our sweet boy that we saw in Mandalorian a few months ago, in my incredibly grainy screenshot that I had to rotoscope him out. Our big purple Macquarie boy. This version is exclusive, and they've called out his head sculpt that's smiling like the mural artwork. For his updated Season 3 character model, he received new chest armor with that Jupa worm drawing from when he met the clones at the beginning of Season 2. But he removed his shoulder armor and changed some of the tech on his belt, flipped his shin armor upside down, so Hasbro would need to sculpt new shins, a belt, a chest, and shoulder armor to create a Zeb from Seasons 1 and 2. I think a Mandalorian version would need to be almost entirely new. Maybe the feet they could use, looks like.
Yeah.
But, Lewis was asking about a Jaro Tapal, perhaps.
Yeah, because he has a similar kind of piece of armor, doesn't he, around his head? And I just wondered whether they could hide a lot of what's underneath him with the soft goods. I don't know.
Yeah, they could reuse like the hips and just do new.
And say the feet and the hand, well, even the hands may need to be changed, I guess. But yeah, you just kind of feel that perhaps there's some way there. Does it give us a little bit of a chance of getting him? But it'll be nice.
Yeah, and I love that part in the show where they. Haven't you ever seen a rare hairless Wookiee before? A nice nod to the fact that this is what Chewbacca was going to look like, of course. But it's a great mashup. His arms are a lot hairier in the live action look than it looked maybe in Rebels. So it's nice that it's kind of a nice blend of the live action reference with Season 3 and 4. Look at that guy.
I laughed when Emily was it on the Toys Are the Way or Adventures in Collecting podcast where she talked about having a flocked Chewbacca figure.
I would love to see that. Has she shown a picture of it? Because I didn't listen to that. I thought I need to see that thing.
Yeah. So Emily, if you ever see this or listen, flocked Chewbacca, flocked Zeb.
That reminded me. There was one. There was back in the early days of internet video. There was some joke where they were like, it was old Kenner pitches for Star Wars figures before the movie came out. It's just not real, but it was funny. The idea was that they'd have like a sticky naked Ken doll. You'd throw it under your bed, and then it would accumulate dust and hair from the ground, and then it would become a hairy Chewbacca. So that's kind of what that reminded me of. Luckily, we don't have to do that with Zeb. Not to put that image in your mind, but I thought it was pretty funny. So if you keep backing the Ghost, we won't have to do that with a Zeb figure. We can get the real deal here.
Yep, $17K.
Yeah, he looks awesome with the bow rifle staff, whatever you want to call it.
And they've nailed the face. From what we saw of him in The Mandalorian, I mean, I kind of was always dubious. Will he translate well from the animated to live action? And I thought I nailed it in that show. When he was standing at the bar there, and what they seem to have captured here is exactly that. And looks fantastic, better than I imagined it would look, to be honest.
Yeah,
and look what he can do with all that articulation, those rocker ankles. Oh, yeah.
He rocks.
That pose is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's got the purple energy effects for the ends of the staff, kind of like a Magna Guard or an HK-87 or whatever. But so amazing, so awesome. Gotta get them. I'm sure I have confidence, but keep backing. If you're watching this and you're waiting until Tuesday night, like I saw somebody posted, back now.
Can
What are you
you
doing?
not, can you not do that?
Tisk tisk. Go get another window. Open another browser window and go back to Ghost. So yes, as I said, these versions were the more requested versions in our March Madness submissions, when people specified, more of them specified season 3 and 4 than season 1 and 2. And hopefully by now we've outlined how they are different. It's not just, you know, they got a new haircut, but we're the exact same outfit. That is not the case. So if you want the season 3 and 4 versions, the only way to get them is by getting the Ghost, if you hashtag get the Ghost. And of course, we know they will also come on exclusive card backs that are exclusive in addition to the figures being exclusive, based on the mural artwork from the Rebels Epilogue and Ahsoka series that we just saw. Yeah, so these card backs are also exclusive to the set and will also never be released again. These 4 characters will never be released again. Yeah, look at those guys. Don't you want them all? Don't you want all 6 on there? Nice,
This
congrats,
is what we like
Greg.
to
Thank
see.
you. Yes, yes.
All right, Greg, you just earned yourself
Yes.
a Got the Ghost sticker. Sorry.
Yay.
Yep.
DM me on Instagram and I will send one your way.
Yes.
Well done.
So,
Greg. Leading by
yeah,
example.
look at. Yes, thank you. You're a hero and an icon. So yeah, so there's
scholar.
yes. There's the 2 figures unlocked there, 2 that we're still needing to get. Hopefully by Wednesday we can scrounge up some extra ghosts there. Yeah, let's unlock those guys. We need the whole crew.
Complete the crew.
And
We
we'll
ask them to do it. They're offering it to us.
And we'll get to the other members in a few minutes, but a few more things to say about these. As Evan, if you want to take the lead on this section, if that's all right.
I'm not looking at the outline right now. So
Never mind. So I'll do it again.
3 screens right now.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh my God. You're like the architect from the Matrix, to go to another franchise real quick. So no, they have not simply, quote, repacked previous figures from a HasLab. Throw that out of the way for those people that are thinking that they're just going to go back on their word and do that. Because all the figures included for HasLab have called out the parts that are exclusive. They've either been reuses of existing figures or ones that were already planned for the main line, just with exclusive accessories and cards. For the sail barge, Jabba and Yak Face, Jabba was already an existing figure. That was just, you needed a Jabba in there, so they just repacked him in there. And then for Yak Face was already coming to the main line. They gave him a cup, but
And a coin. Or no coin, just cup, right?
well, yeah, I was just saying the cup was the same as the one that comes with the Bar 2D2 figure, but they called out the exclusive coin and card back, the Power of the Force card back. So that was going into it. We knew that was all that was going to be exclusive about it.
And sorry for my VC number, folks. That card back is VC000, correct?
Yeah.
So, yes.
It doesn't exist.
Yep. They did not continue that for the future HasLabs. So,
yes. So then for the Razor Crest, they called out which parts would be exclusive, but never said the figures themselves would be. So Mando, part of the base offering, a repack of the existing Mando, but with soft goods cape for the first time. Grogu was already in or planned for the main line, but they called out, they specifically on the HasLab page called out he's going to have exclusive arm with the gear shift knob, exclusive head, and exclusive vac metal pram with exclusive finishing. And then the off-world Jabba Elder, they said it would be an exclusive with the necklace, knife, open mudhorn egg, and the card back, which of course is exactly what happened. They have never re-released those accessories elsewhere. And yeah, even, switching scales, as Chris brings up in the chat, the HasLab exclusive Rancor Luke, Chris Rife said that it won't be made as it was exclusive to the HasLab because it wasn't backed and won't be released. So they have used other parts of that Luke, that Jabba's Palace Luke, to get out a Death Star Luke and a Mandalorian Luke, but they have not released that Jabba's Palace Luke. It is not coming, guys. So don't play their bluff. Worst case scenario, they do re-release these figures. You can get more of them. You can display them with the alternate heads. If that's the worst thing that happens, cry me a river. But it is not going to happen. So don't cry me a river. I don't know.
You're never going to get it unless you want to pay $100 per figure, which you'll probably be.
Yeah.
What did they go for? I think I saw a fat bib knocking around for about 70 at the moment. So they're still reasonable. But I mean, that thing, people haven't even got it yet, and you're already seeing them. So I don't know what the HasLab figures go for, but I know the Yak Face was in the hundreds, wasn't it? Like 400.
Yeah.
I know the crest Jawa is not super ridiculous, but it's still like $70-$80. So yeah. And that's just a simple thing that we all got. So
for the knife and Mudhorn egg and necklace. Okay, so for the like we said, all these figures were to add value to the base offering, but the Ghost HasLab has all new figures that add immensely to the value of the base offering.
If I may chime in, adds to the base offering and adds to the potential and to the tooling library for the line.
Mm-hmm. As we said, they can make the other versions of these characters, but not these versions again. All right, so what about the other two guys? What about Sabine and Chopper? Hasbro, as we know, they have confirmed that if it reaches 17,000 backers and unlocks Zeb, unlocks all 4 figures from the HasLab campaign, they will offer matching versions of Sabine and Chopper on matching mural card backs, available as a separate purchase on Hasbro Pulse. And yes, we all know. No, so yeah, Yak Face goes for around 250.
Sorry to circle back.
Pounds.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, of course, it would be lovely. It would be great if they came to our door and said, thank you for backing the Ghost and gave us a kiss on the cheek and a hug and a free Sabine and Chopper figure. Sadly, they are not doing that. It's nice, in my opinion, that they're making them and completing the crew instead of leaving us hanging as they do for other crews. Not to get into that, but, and I appreciate that they didn't want to lock them. Sabine is 23,000, Chopper is 26,000. That would just be a little much. We're already, hoping and praying that we'll get Kanan and Zeb. I am personally running on the assumption that they're doing what makes sense for them money-wise here. It's not just that we're donating money to their, big penny jar over the fridge that they're going to go then spend on vacations to Jamaica or whatever. But, it costs money to make these things. It costs money up front for the tooling for these vehicles and these figures. So I'm assuming they crunched the numbers. They said, this is what makes sense to us. This is what works out. Obviously, it'd be great if everything was still 2008 prices. But yeah.
Do you wonder though? I know, like we had this discussion very early on, that if people all just jumped on straight away and back the thing, if we'd have got to 17, 18,000 in the first week, then they would have had to look and they did say at SDCC, there might be some more after if you get that far. So they were hinting that they were open to throwing in more tiers. So if people had got on early and people had backed it quickly and we had have hit those within reasonable time period, then I don't think there's an impossibility that these figures could have been thrown in at bigger tiers, at the sort of 24,000s or something like that. Because I think once Hasbro hitting those numbers, they can probably swallow those costs. But at the moment, now it's too dubious whether we'll get there. And so obviously they're playing it safe, and I think that's good. I think that is good. But you just wonder. I just wonder if they will.
I just want to clarify. Patrick did say very early on not to expect any more figures as tiers.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
However, day one, he said Sabine and Chopper would not be coming as tiers. Yeah.
Yes. However, I think that if we had, plowed through all of these tiers early on, we could have maybe gotten some extras like a flight stand.
Yeah.
I know people had tossed around the idea of what if they had included some kind of mural background. Hopefully not cardboard. I don't know how they would have done that, but it was an idea that I saw people floating around that would have been cool. And we've been trying to really just pound it into people's heads that like the earlier you back, the better, because I've seen comments that were like, oh, I'm not going to back this until all the tiers are unlocked, like over and over and over again throughout this campaign. And it's like, how do you think the tiers get unlocked, my guy? By backing. Exactly. So like you're not helping, and in fact you're just holding the campaign back when you could be getting more for your money. You could be adding to the value of the whole package and getting more for your $500. So I mean, we've said it 1,000 times. Some people you just can't get through to them. So I mean, it is what it is. If we hit 17K on the very last day, it's probably going to be too late for them to throw anything in.
It would be. I think even now.
That's our fault as collectors.
Yeah.
So
we had the chance.
Real quick, I just want to say I've been watching, how many people are watching. I think we had a high of like 95 a couple seconds ago. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joining us and joining
Yes,
in on the
thank you.
conversation and watching. We really appreciate all of you guys. And if you could go ahead and hit that like button, that would be much appreciated as well.
And that subscribe button if you're not already.
Yes,
and that get the
definitely.
ghost
God,
button too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we
most
YouTubers
importantly,
now?
the
Three buttons.
get the ghost button. I know I hate everybody hates it when people are like subscribe. I get it. But
Yeah, I need to get the little things to point out in the video. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Yeah.
But yeah, as GA says, if most people had taken our advice that we've been pounding into their heads from the beginning and backed on day one, maybe there wouldn't be a FOMO surge at the last couple of days. I have to say on that one, I think there still would be a FOMO. There's always a surge at the very end. There's always people that say, "Oh crap,
agree.
I got to get this,"
Because there'd be more
people,
in it.
yeah, or people that were saying, I don't know if I'll have the money by then, or
Right.
people that are still confused. A lot of people are confused on a lot of different points in the HasLab still, unfortunately.
there's
so
there's a
are
lot of people
confused
that I think wait
yeah,
until
but they think
they're sure of their financial situation,
Mhm.
even though
Yeah.
you tell them over and over and over and over again, it doesn't charge you when you hit the back button. It charges you at the very end. So I don't know why people are like reluctant to back early, and then if they have to cancel because of their financial situation, like you could do it later, but
Yeah.
you just can't get through to people. I don't know. It's like
What is Dion Melsop? I don't know how to pronounce that,
Dion.
but the next comment,
Dion, yeah.
Dion. They kept adding additional tiers at the Razor Crest owing to early high backing demand, and that's true. But also, the tiers were lower to begin with, but the final tier was 17,000, so it's exactly the same as what Zeb is. So I think maybe they kind of looked at that and said, "All right, that's our ceiling for tiers on these sorts of things." But yes, and as Lamar Avery says, and other people have said in the chat, the current Sabine has a very large helmet. We have talked about that a few times, of course.
Mhm.
It's not great. And also in that great Adventures in Collecting podcast that Emily was on, talked about how, especially for female figures, smaller figures like that, they will be looking at swappable helmets going forward. And luckily, in this photo of this Sabine, the silhouette, the helmet is significantly better. It looks way more like it should.
It's not the size of her torso. That's great.
Yeah, and it
Good
even
start.
has
It's not the size of Chopper.
like it even,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not the size of a ghost. I just want to point out too, I had a couple folks kind of get a little jumpy in the kind of when Emily was saying that they'd probably be looking more towards swappable, prioritizing that in certain cases. I personally didn't take that in any way of them saying like no more removable helmets. I don't think that that's the case at all. I think it's maybe they could just be looking a little more discerning at things, especially as they seem to have some hurdles that they're now aware of in terms of manufacturing these things the way they want to. So I'm glad that we've all been having these conversations. I don't think removable helmets are going away.
So Chris reiterated that anyway, didn't he? He basically said we'll be doing both still.
It's still in the bag of tricks or whatever.
A couple of the Q&As. Yeah, a couple of Q&As. He didn't discount either or. So I'm sure. I just hope they look at it a bit more closely. They must be disappointed with that. You can't tell me that when that sample arrived and it was put on a desk in front of them that they looked at that and said, yeah, this is what we wanted to achieve. They must be disappointed.
Real quick to this one about the oversized helmets regular release. The regular release one does have the oversized helmet. That's the deluxe one of Sabine.
I don't know what regular means in this context.
I'm assuming that's why I just want to
talk about this one.
This one wouldn't. It's assuming that we wouldn't have the oversized helmet on it, and I think going forward, Sabine's won't have the oversized helmet. Based on this, regular. So there's deluxe, and then this is not in the HasLab. So this would be one that you could still get as a regular release through Hasbro Pulse.
That's what he means by regular release.
Okay. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. But and then so to bring up the retro helmet of it all, that one was also revealed and has a more accurately sized helmet, but it goes back to the paradox of, you're either going to have a big helmet or a small head, and she has a smaller head. I do also wonder how much of it has to do with because the heads are on the ball joint and everything for non-retro figures, for vintage figures. So sometimes it's harder to get the helmet off if on a removable figure without popping the whole head off too. So I do wonder if that's also a consideration. Like they can't have it too tight unless you want to. I've had that many times. Like I was even looking at the old Entertainment Earth Mandalorian sets to look at some of their helmets, some of which are very small and some of which the heads are kind of oversized. And the female Mandalorians in that set, their helmets are ginormous also 15 years ago. But some of the guys, it's hard to get the helmet off without popping the whole head off too. So I don't know, but
let's circle back.
Yeah.
You may have missed the beginning of the show where we did talk about just this, about the throne and the N1 shipping way earlier than was planned. Those things may be available again, right, John? Is that what you were saying?
The N1 is absolutely going to still be available.
The N1's mainline. It's a mainline thing.
Throughout the fall.
Throne room.
The throne room keeps coming in and out of stock.
Yeah, and
if
there's
you're
always
trying to budget releases, you need to prioritize the Ghost.
This will never
N1.
happen again. The Ghost will never happen again. This is the only time ever to get it.
Yes. Most places aren't even shipping, like we said, the N1 until December. At least that's what the plan is. So put it on your Christmas list.
Not to tell anybody to do with their money. Again, repeating that.
Buy it in 3 months. But if you're in that position where everything's shipping too much for you, then if you want the Ghost, prioritize the Ghost. You can get the N1 in a few months. You can't get the Ghost in a few months.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Correct.
So
we'll probably say that again at some point in the stream, but yes.
So back to this Sabine figure, as we said, the current Sabine figure that's coming out, the deluxe one that's already available for pre-order and shipping for some folks soon, is based on her appearance in Ahsoka, of course, which is in turn based on the Rebels epilogue, which has a number of differences from her earlier Rebels armor, as you can see in this image. It's unclear if the mural figure that's coming out either alongside or with that chopper, if the Ghost hits 17,000 and gets Zeb. It's unclear if she'll have her white and purple hair look that is in the mural, which she wore in season 3 and the first part of season 4, or the black hair look like she has at the end of season 4. I want both of those, but I'm just throwing it out there that we're not 100% sure. I'm guessing it'll be the white and purple hair.
They talked about paint apps on the one that is coming out, being one of the reasons it's deluxe. And then when you look at all of those other versions, I mean, there's a lot of paint on all of those, isn't there? But you have to wonder if the one with the black hair could be a little bit more cost effective because it hasn't quite got as much paint applications on it. I don't know. But yeah, we want them all, don't we? I mean, they look great, all of them.
I do want them all, yeah.
In my mind, though, the deluxe one is going to pay for the tooling. So when they re-release that figure and most of the, most or all of the tooling already exists, then you're just, repainting it. So that
they can maybe cost it out a little bit more that way.
Yeah.
Although Boba Fett kind of scuppers that whole argument, doesn't it? Because those repainted Bobas, apparently,
I still don't really
because of the.
To that point, I think
for Boba,
it's always interesting when there's a highly decoed figure that costs a lot of money. We ask what's the most costly part of the process, and they say deco.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they release something like Boba Fett with no paint on it or a lot less paint, we say what's the most expensive part of the process? They say, oh, the labor, the putting it together, the parts and pieces.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so it's both. I don't know.
I think on the recent Q&A, which Sir Steve, the question he'd asked about costs, I think Chris sort of indicated that the paint apps was the one that had increased the most over recent years, didn't he? I think he said that's the one that they were trying to rein in a bit from the sounds of it.
And that also, and the paint apps feed into the labor cost because somebody still has to go on and paint all those 8 million different stripes on her armor. Back to the tooling of Sabine real quick. As I said, so she kind of switches it up. Yeah, she has the pipeline version with the chopper image, has her bandoliers on her legs there, which the Ahsoka version does not. In Rebels, she has a different chest armor piece than she does in the epilogue and the Ahsoka series. So it's like a 2-piece thing in the epilogue and the Ahsoka series, but it's a 1-piece thing, or 3. I don't know. A lot of these Mandalorians, they have complicated armor pieces. But go read the post. I already said it, but a lot of the tooling that exists now can lead to the other, and then as they do more parts and pieces, that unlocks even more versions of Sabine. So like in season 1 and 2, she has that longer kind of mullety haircut. And then season 3 and 4, she has a shorter kind of side swoop thing. So if they do, that's 2 new hair pieces they need to do, and then that unlocks 4 different hairstyles for her, that sort of thing. So as they do more in the line, it unlocks even more figures in the line, I guess. So there you go on that. And then, of course, Chop.
Best two
Chopper
last.
is also, yes. God, I rewatched the 2nd episode of Ahsoka, and I just love his scenes. They nailed him so perfectly in the
They
live
really
action.
did.
That got the biggest laugh out of me and my girlfriend. We were watching it, and just that and like, did you go through my stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Yeah, man. I
Brilliant.
died. Loved it.
Yeah. So yeah, and they also pipelined another version of Chopper, the Ahsoka series live action version of Chopper. Which
sorry to cut you off. Just wanted to shout out, hey Joel, good to see you. And yes, that's my feeling on the removable helmets. So
thank you, Milky Way. That's very nice. But a lot of staring at their different appearances and comparing because it had to be done. Could not be done. Okay, you just have to do these things sometimes. But
he's a walking, talking Wikipedia.
Yeah.
He really is.
better
visually as well.
Yeah.
I don't think
so
anybody
Esther
appreciates just how tall John is.
Yes, I am very tall. If you don't know, I know I'm small on your screen, but I'm Wookiee sized in real life as well.
Yeah.
Even as I have less hair sometimes, much like Sabine, you got to change the shape of the head every now and then. But so anyway, so we know that we're getting the Chopper on the mural card. If we hit 17,000, we're getting a Chopper separately based on Ahsoka. Not sure if it's a Rebels style card, probably an Ahsoka card. Might damn well be a Rogue One card. We do not know at the moment. But as you can see, so they really faithfully recreated his animated look in live action. But they did they added more greeblies to it. They added more wires to him throughout. There's a little square panel near the bottom right half of just near the bottom of his chassis that they kind of like, they kind of like, it was askew. Now they kind of straightened it out a little bit. But really one can be stand-in for the other. And of course, since Vintage Collection is realistic, I'm assuming that they will have one Chopper sculpt that they use for Ahsoka and Rebels. But then we got those 3 amazing disguises that he has that Sabine painted for him throughout the series that I would love to see as well. And as I mentioned before, the Disney Parks Droid Factory figure is great from about 6 years ago, but it is Rebels inspired. It is not a Hasbro figure, even though it's compatible with the scale. And they have done some great redesigns, but none that are exactly like the ones from the show. So,
John, here's a question for you.
He was not originally intended to be an R5 unit. He was based on the Ralph McQuarrie artwork for R2-D2 as well, where R2 has like the arms coming out of his head, which they made a figure of in 2007, 30th anniversary line. Yeah, the McQuarrie R2, as Bosk is saying. And so some of the original concept art, he did have a more circular R2 style dome. I think just as they were designing him, they kind of moved towards a more R5-esque flat dome in that shape with the 3 eyes and everything. So there's your Chopper backstory.
To circle back to Sabine really quick, did I miss something here?
No, but Holonet 1 absolutely did. She's absolutely not a repaint of Bo-Katan. Yes. She's 100% a new figure, not a Bo-Katan repaint at all, I don't think.
That's why I brought it up. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, of course, Sabine and Chopper will be available via Hasbro Pulse if we get 17,000. And the other figures in their End of Rebels appearances will not be released again. Are we clear on this, everybody? Are we clear? What were you going to say, Tyler?
I was just going to say, I don't think that he was necessarily trying to imply that it was a repaint. I don't know. It's hard to read. It's hard to.
I would say
I just wanted to make sure to clear it up. That,
if it was a repaint, they would have got a helmet size, right? That's for sure. Well, actually, it might have been too small, but there you go.
Too small, yeah. But yes, I absolutely want every Chopper variant, please and thank you. And so I'm glad that they're pipelining that he's definitely coming to the main line and probably coming on a mural card if they if we back the Ghost, if we get the Ghost. So let's move on to the Ghost itself.
How much is your collection real estate is astromech droids?
Oh, not enough. You can see this, I don't know where it is right here, the Droid Factory. When they did the Droid Factory, I was over the moon, even though it's Disney Parks, but Hasbro needs to knock him out. And my God, I told you guys I was doing the Vince McMahon meme. Every time there was a new droid, in the Ahsoka first 2 episodes, I was just getting more and more excited. Yeah, my God, they're so cool, and I love the Kenner style R2. Oh man, it's the same body for the regular R2, so they just need a new head. Whew. So many droids, Hasbro, Disney Parks. Let's get them all on this.
For I imagine this is for all the choppers. If they released a Disney pack of just all the different chopper looks, because they do have a really great C1 sculpt in the Disney Parks line.
Any way I can get it, frankly, I'll take it. But a wise man frog thing once said, "Size matters not." But another less wise, regular young human man said, "Look at the size of that thing." So as we know, the Ghost is the biggest vintage collection starship ever. Bigger than the big Millennium Falcon, bigger than the Razor Crest, not quite bigger than the Barge, but that's not a starship. And I saw some people saying that maybe like square inch wise, the Ghost may actually be bigger than the Barge. Yes, we got to point out Chris's comment. They would have to change their name from Shop Disney to Chop Disney, and I love you for saying that. Thank you very much.
Yes, Chris, if you would like a HasLab Got the Ghost sticker, you've just earned yourself one as well. I'm just throwing these out like candy. So reach out to me if you'd like it.
Look at some of the details. I love the bunks that they have in there. Some details they said will be in the Ahsoka series at some point, I hope. And we'll get into that later at some point. But lots of details from the Rebel series as well. So the size thing brings up the question of, how am I going to fit this with the rest of my collection? And luckily, like a lot of folks like Toys of the Way did a great post. Steve Evans did a post today as well. And they kind of alluded to it quickly in their fan stream this past week that it does fit on a regular shelf because it has removable sides. For the shipping, so it's modular. So like the center area where you've got all the meat in there, all the stuff in there, and they've got the 2 sides that kind of pull off and they fit in. So if you need to pull one of the sides off for your shelving setup, that is totally doable.
Evan, is there a promo shot that has the Ghost sort of exploded with all the removable pieces? See that? There
is. I did not throw that in here. I totally screwed that up. Sorry.
I think that's a previous one where it was just the it wasn't the like paint model, it was the digital.
Yeah, it was like the breakout of all the pieces.
The only reason I say that is because I keep seeing comments where it's like, I'd love to buy this, but I don't have the space for it. And it's like, well, you could take the wings off. So no excuse. Go get the Ghost.
Toys Are the Way.
I don't want to hear it. Go get the Ghost.
Toys Are the Way on Instagram and here on YouTube put a post on Instagram today that did show the cutoff of where you would take the wings. It's a really great post. Steve Evans also did a digital mock-up. I believe Emily shared both of those posts. So they are aware that if space is a concern for you as a potential backer, there are options,
which is great. By the way,
there's conversation about that. So yes,
but the best option
and on a shelf, with that side off on a shelf, it could still look great as a display with all the figures.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You wouldn't even know that back half was missing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that we should just a note for Team Internal. I think maybe we should share that exploded picture just as a single image, just to show everyone like, hey, you can take the wing off if you're worried about space. But
I will say I want to bring up Brandon's last comment, which the one before that, it's going on my coffee table if my wife allows it. So that's where you should put it, right front and center in the house. Move your throw out your TV, put it on the TV stand. I think there should be space on there.
Real quick, just because it did come up, don't want to focus on it
any
too
questions
much,
we're going to go through,
but the elephant in the room, we don't know.
Yes. Well, the elephant in the room is the Ghost. It's about as big as an elephant.
And it can be in Europe.
Yes. The other one,
Yes. So that of course has been a bummer. We hope so. But
based on Ahsoka's damaged ship in the last episode and how, Hera was talking to them and the transmission kind of got cut off, it's possible that Hera will swoop in the next episode to come rescue them. But it's very late to have any real meaningful effect on the campaign the day before the campaign ends. So,
to the point of when she'll show up in the show, I'll just say, no spoilers. I don't know anything, but from the marketing, we have seen Hera on Cetos, the planet with the red trees, where Ahsoka and Sabine are currently. with the ghost in the background, so she had to use the ghost to get there. And hold on that one, Evan. And then so the assumption is, yes, they will definitely need another ship. So, and then Hera talked to the New Republic. They said, you can't go do this. Don't do this. And then, of course, we see in the trailer saying, once a rebel, always a rebel. My guess is she's rebelling against the New Republic to go save them with the ghost. Hopefully, some of those starfighters are still in orbit above Cetos that Hera can fight. I don't know. It was great that we got the Phantom 2 a couple episodes ago in an awesome action scene. So that was
really
something at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the joke.
Yes. If you're waiting to see it in live action on Tuesday, if that's your make or break thing, well, I hope we see it on Tuesday. However, it has been seen in live action canonically after the events of Ahsoka as well. So
In The Rise of Skywalker.
yes,
So.
I know not everybody saw that movie, but
right behind the Millennium Falcon, pretty much front and center at the Battle of Exegol, it still exists. It is not just a different version of that ship.
Yes.
It's the same ship. Or if it is a different version, buy another one. So you have a Ghost and you have whatever that thing is at the Battle of Exegol. Yeah.
The Ghost 2 and the Phantom 3.
And if you want to see it in live action, go pop in the Rogue One DVD, pop it on the Disney Plus version. It's in Rogue One as well, flying around at the battle. And watching Return of the Jedi last night, I was reminded of the Rebels epilogue where Hera fought in the Battle of Endor. So technically, she probably used the Ghost at the Battle of Endor, somewhere among that jumble of ships in there. So you need it for your original trilogy collection too.
Yes, because it is OT
waiting on
era,
that. So. And I did think that it was interesting because Steve Evans had a post where he was like, if you're going to spend $500 on a Star Wars vehicle, you're probably the kind of person that already knows what the Ghost is. It is kind of shocking seeing some of these comments. Like, I'm waiting for live action to show me the Ghost before I buy it. That's real. Is that really going to make or break it for some people? Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if it had been in the last sort of 4 episodes, people might have fallen in love with it a little bit. But just to see it turn up in one episode, I don't think it's necessarily going to make someone go, "Oh my god, I've got to have that," and run out and back the thing. So yeah, I agree. It's probably, even if it shows up now, it's probably too little, too late. But I do feel, you do wonder if the show had been timed slightly earlier and we had a whole season and we did see it quite a lot through the season. A bit like the Razor Crest, you start to live inside it and you start to grow with it and you start to actually treat it almost like a character. Then I think people do attach themselves to it a bit more. And I think that's one thing the Crest did have that the Ghost hasn't for the new media anyway. I mean, obviously any of us who've watched Rebels, we know everything about it. We love it. But that's where I guess these people that don't watch cartoons feel that they need that to see it in live action just to be able to get it, to justify buying it, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, and on that point too of spending time with it, this is not to take away from the Ghost, because I've wanted the Ghost since I saw it. It's incredible. Love this. But that thing of spending time with it, we've spent time with the ship in Ahsoka for 3 episodes, her T6 Jedi shuttle. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, I want that too. Yeah. So,
lucky for you, it is coming to Mission Fleet. So
how is that lucky for me? I don't want that.
But
anyway,
and it will be, buy 5 and be a hero, please.
Yo, my SW guys, if you want a free Got the Ghost sticker, let me know.
So and next week after the campaign, we will be doing a full post-mortem on the campaign over on our podcast. Another thing to go like and subscribe to on your podcast provider of your choice. We also put it on YouTube here most of the time. It's exactly like this live stream, but 5% less meandering thanks to Evan's editing. Anything else you want to say about the Ghosts? Well, so with that comment about, so Hasbro did coordinate with Lucasfilm quite a lot on this.
Yes, just not about
as far
timing.
as we know. Yeah.
Evan, can you highlight Jeff's comment real quick?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
So, to that point, not to say they've already built the model in live action. We know Hera is a big character. She will continue to be a big character going forward. I'm assuming she's going to use the Ghost at some point. I'm hoping she's going to use the Ghost at some point, whether it's next week, whether it's 3 hours before the campaign ends, whether it's in Ahsoka season 2, whether it's not until It's the most badass ship of all time in Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie, flying alongside the Millennium Falcon, being even cooler than the Millennium Falcon, with Han Solo going inside, going, damn, I wish I had that ship instead. It's going to show up at some point. It has already shown up so much in Rebels. You know, could they have timed it better? Maybe, but we'll get into that next week.
Yeah.
And once we kind of see how it all shakes out, I guess, to know whether there's a big difference that could have been made.
GA, we did mention this a couple times. Nope, we missed the mark on that one.
Yeah, so just to go back real quick, because clearly you missed a GA. We had talked about if we had cleared the tiers earlier in the campaign and gotten to 20,000 or 25,000 or whatever, I think it was very likely that they would have tossed in a flight stand. But at this point, it's probably too late. And you know what?
So,
you can thank all the people who kept saying, "I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait." Nah.
Instead, we're all going to have to go to Tyler's supplier in Australia, where he gets all these other great stands from. So,
Yeah,
that guy's going to be inundated with stand requests.
I had a Falcon on display. I had set my whole setup at home last night, spent time on it, and then my internet crapped out this morning, so I had to come scramble to set up in the office. But I had some of those nice clear stands that Tyler, you turned me on to, and
I love them.
Yeah, they're good, man.
I'm gonna get more water real quick, if that's all right. If you guys want to answer more questions real quick.
Let's see. Nah, dude, not your bad. Don't worry about it. We're good. Mike Rendar, you want a sticker? Done. You got a sticker.
Hey, Mike.
And I don't know if you guys can see, but I've got some of those acrylic stands right here.
Yeah, you can see the Falcon. Well, you can't now because Evan's put the thing up in front of your face.
You moved that, sorry.
You can see the
just real quick.
It looks great.
To the folks who throughout this I've said you get a sticker. I just want to repeat, please reach out to me via Instagram or however or whatever. We'll find contact info. Just let me know so that I can get that to you. So sorry to interrupt you, Tyler.
No, you're good. You're good.
In fact, make our screen a little bit bigger so that we can see.
So you got one from the X-Wing as well. I didn't see that before.
Oh yeah, I have them for almost all of my, I have them for my ARC 170, my B-Wing, my A-Wing, lot of different stuff. You can't see it. It's up higher, but yeah. They're super cool.
Great.
It's Zac Paris, ZAC Paris on eBay, and they ship from Australia. So to make the shipping cost worth it, it's best to just buy, half a dozen stands. I'm totally not being a bad influence and enabler right now. But really, people come and they see my collection and my displays. People who visit our home, and they say, "Wow, it's like a museum in here." It really adds a lot to your, your collection display. So highly recommend. Very high quality stands. So
yeah,
just throwing that out there.
Two things in here. Yeah, one. Got to go look at how tall John is. Then there's this question as well. Have we had a HasLab that was funded but didn't reach all the stretch goals? For
yes,
Star Wars?
Yeah.
No, but G.I. Joe, yes.
No. G.I. Joe Sky Striker did not meet the final tier of a couple of figures. And they didn't get included, and they haven't been made, and that line is basically not continuing. The classic, the retro, the O-ring figures.
Yep.
So
this is a point that I did want to bring up because I don't like this. I don't like this idea of folks throwing a fit and doing that.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, for me, the vehicle
that hurts everyone
on its own.
Yeah.
We want the crew. I've seen people saying, "Well, what good's a ship if you haven't got the crew?" But okay, let's say worst came to worst, and that was the situation. We're still going to get the Ahsoka crew, so we're still going to get figures down the line from this show, which now has got the ship. So it's not like you're going to have a ship with nothing to display it with. So for me, yeah, I want it for the ship. The crew's a bonus, but I hope enough people feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
And if they do, if and when they do these other versions of these characters down the line, it's not going to be all in one go. It's going to be, when they sprinkle them into the line over the next 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, then you're not going to have a ghost to go with it. So I hope you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I hope you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of that's a bit of a thing that just is pretty selfish and harms the whole thing and ruins it for everybody. So
stay strong. We'll get there. We'll get there if we all
Yes.
stay strong.
Happy beeps. We all just need to breathe, or maybe I'll make more memes to blow off steam. Yeah. The amount of times I've used the get the ghost hashtag in the past 40 some days is it's all I see. It haunts me in my dreams. So.
Yeah, do you remember when we did the last live stream and this thing had just kicked off? And I remember saying, I love this. It's brilliant. This is like so much fun. Well, yeah, I'm kind of feeling complete opposite at this point. You kind of just get in now and it's like, okay, let's just grind this thing out. Let's just get it done. I don't want to post another story. I don't want to put another post up about this thing. I just want to see it. So yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dion makes me
Exactly.
laugh.
I still have friends who are like, when are they? Oh, if they re-release the barge, and like, well, they're not going to. So I'm sorry, you should have got it 5 years ago.
And as someone who doesn't own the barge, you know, one day I hope
Yeah.
to. I will pick one up, and I'll probably
Sure.
I'll pay a fortune for it. I know I will. But as someone who doesn't own it, I don't want them to re-release it, because I know the damage it will do to a HasLab. I mean, it ruins the whole model. From there on in, no one will back anything. So it's just, yeah, they can't ever do it.
No.
Yeah. Yes, wise words from Toys of the Way here as well. Get the ghost. It's not just get the figures, get the crew. Let's get the ghost. So we need them, but
Don't forget the ghost is the main attraction.
Yes, it is. It's the
Yeah.
star of the show, and Hera as well, since she was included in the base. But
Of course.
Yes.
Of
And
course.
if we can bring up Lamar's comment about, as I said before, no, not true. The chopper figure is the Disney Parks Droid Factory, which is not a Hasbro item. Hasbro cannot just use that. It is also based on the Rebels design. It does not have all the details that the Ahsoka design has. It's a great figure, but it does not work for Vintage Collection, and also cannot physically work for the Vintage Collection. Not made by Hasbro. So yeah, they are making a new figure.
Boom.
But
John with the facts.
just want to highlight.
Always
Also-
with the facts.
Yes.
Some of those last Disney droids have not been great in terms of quality either. You know,
Yeah.
the Obi-Wan Kenobi
Ned
ones
B,
they did. You know, the articulation was terrible,
Ned-
and you kind of think Ned B and a TVC would be 10 times better than that. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I would
Yeah.
like to see these things done by Hasbro, not by Disney. Personally, I'm happy with the little, the little Astromechs. They can fill all that stuff in around the edges, but the key characters need to be done by Hasbro.
And I'll say originally they borrowed the tooling for the Astromech droids back over a decade ago when they started the Droid Factory. But since then, all the new sculpts they have been running with, and Hasbro has never used any of them. So there you go. That's the history on that. Yeah, there you go. Should we move on from this? We've said it all. If you have a question, we've probably answered it already.
Mhm.
Hashtag complete the crew. Hashtag get the ghost. Go back the ghost already if you haven't already. For the love of the Force.
Sorry, just highlighting some last.
We're
words
still,
here
I know, we're
before
still
we
back in
jump
the
into
negativity. Trying to get out, trying to get out.
Yes, we're good. We're good. We're good.
But that does lead to, yes, you can print it out yourself at King
We love
Coast.
that.
The world building around the line, we asked about more Rebels figures. We asked about more Ahsoka figures. We got more Ahsoka figures revealed this week. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that nice timing? There was a fan stream this past Tuesday, August 29th, if we can kind of move to that.
Mhm.
But if that's all right with everybody, keep with the ghost
Sure.
theme. This is the Ghost HasLab Telethon. But here's her pilot coming to the main line, General Hera Syndulla, a different figure from the HasLab figure, as you can see in the comparison shots that I sent as well.
I love this look for her so much. Like her
Yes.
outfit in the show. I just love it.
Yep.
I love
bomber
that, like the
jacket is
bomber
awesome.
jacket. Yeah, it's so like
Can I
piloting.
can I just correct? Can I just correct John? She's not the pilot. I think it's pronounced PLA.
Oh, you
Piole, yeah.
Roasting.
Yep.
Roasting.
But yeah, she looks amazing. I love the little fur on her jacket at the top, and it's got the patches on the sides of the arms. It's got the design on the back. I believe, as we pointed out, it has a similar head sculpt and hands from the HasLab Rebel Season 3 and 4 figure, but everything else is 100% completely unique
Yep.
This is what they mean when they say these outfits are exclusive, but they might use, some of the sculpting and whatnot for other versions.
This is a great reference of just what exactly we could be in store for.
You could tell the
So,
legs are not
yes.
the same. They are not the
No,
same.
so yeah, they moved up. It's similar. I mean, she probably bought it at the same pants store, but it was a different season of clothing. So like the lines are in a different place, the pockets are in a different place. She moved her holster from her ankle to her hip, kind of like a more Han Solo type situation.
Oh my gosh, I missed the ankle holster all this time. That's cool.
Yep, that's in the Rebels version, yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's unclear if some of the they look like headphones covering up her ear cones, if they're actually a new sculpt or the same sculpt. But yeah, the face looks to be the same. It's the same Mary Elizabeth Winstead portrait reference. But yeah, and as Tim pointed out in his video about these reveals, it's got a purple background, which I think might be, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that a first for Vintage Collection?
What color was the power droid?
Pink, hot pink.
Okay,
Pinky,
pinkish.
yeah,
Yeah.
more pinky.
I am
And not that
on
we-
board for purple.
I think I've only done that once or twice when I do my concepts. I did it for Breath Up, the Ewok, because I had some of the purple and like the twilight sky of Endor. But yeah.
Is Nisa? What color is Nisa on the Ewok in the upcoming Ewok pack? But that's not on a regular TVC card. It's on a Ewoks card, so it's different. Real quick, I just want to mention this. Ben
Also-
Solo Collector 95 first. Hello there, and we will get to that in just a sec.
And Nisa is also on a lighter pink card.
Okay, so purple is first. Deluxe Sabine had kind of purple, this kind of purple splash in her promo photos, but she's a deluxe
on the
so
card.
she doesn't have,
So yeah, promo photos aside,
Yeah.
this is a unique color for Vintage Collection, which is nice to see, and it's different from the HasLab figure. Has sort of a light green situation, kind of matching her skin. This kind of contrasts with it, which is cool to see. So yeah, I love these unique things. Not that we need to go full pink and purple Barbie aisle, but it is nice to add
I'm
these
here
new
for it.
things.
Purple's my favorite
not
color,
just-
so hook me up with these purple
Yeah.
cards. So
Yeah, I love it. Another thing about the card, which may interest you in particular, Evan, Mr. VC number, is that a big deal for a lot of people. VC 300. We all kind of thought maybe it'd be something from A New Hope, maybe, but it is Hera right here, VC 300. What do you think about that?
you know, I love it actually. Since she is the first rebel, even though it's from Ahsoka, she is the first of our rebels. As rebels has been something that's been demanded over and over again for years, and we're finally getting these characters in their live action looks and now through the Ghost, and it's all very exciting. It's very vindicating for a lot of us who have waited. So I think that's a big deal that a character that's made a jump from animation to live action gets that VC 300 spot. I know the numbers don't really mean anything. Obviously they get repeated. So technically I think we're even further along than 300. So whatever. But I at first I was disappointed. It's like, oh, I think, like Leia or something would have been a really nice moment for that. But you know what, Hera, I think she deserves it, especially since she is the Piolet of the Ghost that we're all dropping money on. So
Exactly.
Yes. And yeah,
numbers don't matter too much to me. I don't mind either way, 300 or not. I think Starkiller was a fluke. Would you say at 100? I don't think they necessarily planned that at 100.
That's
They
like,
obviously gave
we
it a bit
meant
more
that.
thought at 200. With the Emperor, it made sense, I guess, at 200. But yeah, it does seem a bit strange that they've just announced, which we're coming to later on the pipelines. But she's obviously.
Oh, we lost Lewis there.
I mean, I wondered if it makes sense, but does it really matter? Never mind.
You cut out there for a sec, Lewis, but yes, I think you were making a point about Leia.
Yeah. So it would have made sense to perhaps do that, but it's no big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on her? Or are we going to go on to the dark side a little bit here?
Let's get witchy with it.
Let's get to Dathomir we go with Morgan Elsbeth. This is her Ahsoka outfit, which is a little bit more Night Sistery than her Mandalorian Season 2 outfit, but they're very close, actually. So you could definitely pose her fighting Ahsoka with the Beskar spear if you wanted to. But speaking of that Beskar spear, let's jump down on the thing a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Before you do, with the repeated numbers, yeah, they're both 300. Yeah,
yeah, quite possibly.
Jumping down slightly on the LN, but the press materials and the websites selling her state that she includes an accessory. But unless that bubble is an accessory, unless that skirt is an accessory, she does not have anything with her. So I wonder if she's supposed to have something and they didn't. Yeah, that's true. There's no warning. So she has nothing included with her, which maybe she could have had the map. Though, maybe she could have had some green fire effects or something, or maybe she could have had.
I think I saw Emily. I get it. I will say my opinion is that no TVC figure should ever come with 0 accessories. This is a premier collector line. Yep. However, I believe I did see somewhere Emily commented that when they got the assets from Lucasfilm to make this figure, they had no idea about the whole star map thing. So everyone was like, they should have included the star map, blah, blah, blah. Like, just for context,
she didn't know.
They may not have even known that was a thing back then. So, you know, and Emily has also commented that since this is representative of her appearance in Ahsoka and not the Mandalorian, that is why she does not come with the Beskar spear. So I know people have brought up both of those accessories, the star map and the spear. Maybe they could have done some Night Sister effects, like you said, John, but I will just say, you know, to their credit, the soft goods look absolutely impeccable, and it really stands out from the TBS version in my mind. But
yeah,
somebody else can go.
Agreed.
But
just buckle up for the deluxe version later with all the accessories you wanted. So,
but so if you do want to, if you can ignore the differences in the costumes, like the belt is different. I think the exact pattern on the skirt is different, and some of the designs, again, similar to the Rebel stuff. The vibes are the same, but the details are different. But we have the Beskar spear with a couple of Mando figures, so that's, you know, you can pose her out with that. But she does come with that soft goods skirt with lots of pleats and patterns that are really cool to see. And it's the Black Series version did not get soft goods, so that's another win.
And you wonder how much that might affect the posability of the Black Series one as well. I mean, again, you know, when you're looking at what we want to do with her, I'm assuming at some point in the show we're going to see her having some sort of fight scene or something like that, and you know, you need it to be posable. So
we know she can kick ass in real life, so
yeah,
I'm sure we'll see it at some point.
She's the goddaughter of Bruce Lee, I believe. So
so
oh my
gosh, see those skills put to good use.
Yeah, Tyler, did you listen to the previous episode of the podcast?
Yes. I forgot about that. You're right. You did mention that. Sorry.
That's all good. I don't listen to it either.
To the skirt, I gotta wonder what legs are under there, as we're always so obsessed with tooling reuse. But again, these are the things where they can reuse pieces if they need to, without really, you know, offending people too much under there, as long as it's the full articulation. But we don't know. I don't know. It looks new to me. The feet do anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And in terms of reusing other parts, since her outfit is so very Night Sistery, you start thinking about what other Night Sisters can they use. I think they might be able to use her torso for another Night Sister of some kind. And the lower arms and hands, they got those wraps. I'm thinking Ventress could use those arms, maybe.
Ooh,
the lower arms.
Yeah.
Not a Night Sister, but boy, if they had waited to do the Tusken Warrior, I feel like some of these pieces would have been nice for that. But c'est la vie.
Yes.
Piolet.
On this day, we are all French.
So
it's not even a French word, is it? Piolet?
Probably not.
Sounds French.
God, we're so ignorant.
But we do know a lot about this next character. The HK-87 assassin droid, one of many awesome villains that Morgan hangs out with. And we will be discussing the others in a minute for those in the comments. This figure comes with a battle droid style blaster and a staff, and is the only one of the HK-87s that were revealed that day to have the staff, which is cool to see. And he's got a sassy soft goods cape draped over one shoulder, of course. This is so we've seen a lot of these droids already. They were in Mando season 2, and there's been a lot throughout all episodes of the Ahsoka show. This is the all red one that confronts Ahsoka as soon as she comes up from getting the map on Arcana. What's up, Chewie?
Sorry, guys. The mascot has made an appearance, everyone. Good boy.
But this is the all red design with some like black on the shins, as you can see, some gray on the shins that says the map, give it to us. In terms of other color schemes, there's the sort of red and tan color scheme that is seen on most droids. The ones that fight alongside this one on Arcana, there's 4 of those, 2 that have a cape, 2 that do not. And it also matches the same one seen in Mandalorian Season 2 on Corvus, though I know that one also had... The Thrawn's design is somewhere, Thrawn's 7th Fleet symbol is somewhere on these guys. I didn't do my due diligence and double check everything. I'm so sorry. But
Useless.
That design matches... But that is the same design that is in both Black Series and Retro Collection as well. And this version is also in Black Series, but there's also a version that's more red and black that fights alongside Merrick on Corellia in the 2nd episode, where they kind of Ahsoka and Merrick both slice them up to get to each other. So obviously we got to ask Troop Builder Set win for this guy. This version itself looks awesome.
Yeah, the 4 droids. It's 4, right, in the show. Maybe it's more than 4.
I think there's actually 5 different ones. When you
it seems like those are just like
the Mandalorian
for a trooper pack.
Yeah,
like
you can mix
that's
and
like the
match them.
perfect trooper pack.
Mhm.
Like release all
Slam
4
dunk.
painted versions,
Yeah.
slam dunk, super easy.
Yeah.
Barely an inconvenience.
Yes, you got the tool.
Real quick, I saw a comment here just to circle back to Elsbeth. Hasbro did a great job on Morgan, but we don't need 10 of her. So Hasbro, please don't flood the market. She's getting a release in all 3. We'll talk about that here just one sec. But John, you noticed that the case assortment for that wave is 1 per case of Morgan.
For Morgan, yeah.
Okay.
And if it was supposed to be 1 per case of Ahsoka, so then I bought another Ahsoka because I need that repack for some reason. But yeah, I think they flipped it to 1 for Morgan and 2 for Ahsoka. I just looked at Troy Baker. He's some voice actor. I'll take it. I hope that's a good thing. If the guy gets paid doing voice stuff,
It's
that's
a
nice.
good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay.
I thought someone had said that Morgan was 2 per case and Thrawn was 1, and that they were, they had a problem with that.
Well,
It looks like they
Morgan was 2 per case, but they updated it to now she's 1 per case.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's always
Excellent.
subject to change. Even sometimes, like I remember with the Grief Karga case, he was supposed to be 1 per case, and Grogu was supposed to be 3. Then they updated that to 2 of each. So I guess we'll see how it shakes out. It's always subject to change.
True.
But
we touched
some
on.
people
Oh, sorry.
just the coloring of this. I know some people said it's a little plasticky. I mean, it is a plastic figure, so
And-
make peace with your life. But
And the
I
red
guess
on the helmet, on the face, people said this was just all flat red. And in the show, it's pretty much a flat red as well. It has some more shadows and weathering, but there's a lot of red on all the pieces that you think might be gray, but they're red. So
what's up? Say Finn just joined, and it's nice to see Lorena. But yeah, it should be a full case of Thrawn.
yes,
That's the ideal case. That's the
yes,
perfect
you know
case.
what's up.
Tyler's going to be buying
Palette in Tyler's
1 million cases. Yeah.
I bought between Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store, I bought 3 full cases of Thrawns. That means 24 Thrawns. And why would I do that? Some people ask. Well, I'll tell you why. 1 case is going to get sent
Mental
to be
illness.
graded. That's a significant contributing factor, yes. But 1 case I'm going to send to go get graded. Another case is I'm going to try to swap out the legs and to make shorter Grand Admirals. I'm going to try to make some custom Grand Admirals to make all the other 12 from Legends and whatnot. Gonna do my best. But
this is the Rebels version, but we're bound to have an Ahsoka on,
Yeah, for
hot
sure.
on the heels.
yes, absolutely.
So
Their
It literally
outfits are
needs
the
to
exact
go
same.
too mad.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick on both HK87 and Morgan, I didn't have in the notes, but their cards, the images are both like composite images. So it was like the actor or the CGI model for HK, just like kind of photoshopped onto a background of one's on Arcana, one's on Cetos.
Yeah, they said it was
So-
before they got.
Yeah, I
Some
mean, you can
reference
go on
material.
StarWarsScreencaps.com or capthat.com and pop it in now if you can. It could be a little nicer. I don't know. They look fine. It's one of these things that happens. If we want figures, fairly close to the release of the show, that's one of the things that can give. If that has to give, I'm totally fine with that. Priorities.
In Revenge of the Sith, we see a Magna Guard continue to fight Obi-Wan without a head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
cool
who would win the HK versus the Magna Guard. Who would win? I'm curious.
Now I need to see it. Now I can't not see that.
Well,
yeah,
dang,
Sabine
yeah.
talked about it in the show with they're resilient, and when they lose a piece, they just keep on coming.
Yeah.
Terminators.
But,
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's an idea that you just put into my head that now I will never rest until Dave Filoni does it. So
yes, come on.
yeah.
Tales of the Jedi season 18. Let's see that happen.
Hook it up.
So now we're in the world of Ahsoka, but we got to talk about some of the balance of scales coverage. Evan put together a great image dealing with that. Since both Black Series and Retro got some reveals, there's a couple of characters that are missing from Vintage that are in both Retro and Black Series, or one or the other. But we're not that far behind. TVC is not that far behind the other droids. Which
is very encouraging to see.
The other lines this time.
Yeah,
compared
to previous shows, I mean, we're doing okay. So
yeah, we're still hashtag missing Merrick and hashtag hoping for Hu Yang gang for life.
I'm
I've been wanting Hu Yang.
Officially there with you,
Yes.
John.
I think Hu Yang gang is growing by the minute as they see his awesome character appear in more episodes of the show. He was awesome a decade ago. He won the Emmy. I keep saying this, and now he's just better and better. And I love seeing him so prominently in the Ahsoka series. I've wanted a figure of him since before Black Series even existed, and they get him after he's been in live action for an obvious.
He's such a sassy little savage too.
Yes,
he's like in 500 years of training Jedi, you suck the most. Like, ooh, ouch.
Yes, I want a basic version. I want a deluxe version with all the lightsaber arms training things that come out of his back. All the lightsaber pieces from the Clone Wars. And then we need more Inquisitors. We need more Merrick.
Yep.
And as Tim says, we might be waiting a little while for Baylan or Shin. So no scale has Baylan or Shin yet, but on the Black Series mural, you can kind of see a shoulder pad that looks like Baylan's shoulder. So I don't know what that means. It's interesting that they're not in any scale yet.
It's
And I'll
strange,
say
isn't it? It's the villains again. It always seems to be the villains that they just hold
At least
back
we're getting
for whatever reason.
Yeah,
it's cool to see we got both Morgan and HK together. So that's two villains, but
yeah,
they are not the most active, lightsaber wielding, action oriented figures from this characters from the show.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher that it wasn't just like a hey, and it's not the whole we see it when you see it thing. We saw them a while ago, guys. So
probably more than most in the trailers. Yeah, when you think about who else we haven't seen in the trailers, but. Yeah,
they don't have to tell them anything about the characters, nothing about the backstory. Just show pictures of them for reference so you can get
just
going on the figures.
Them make them.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Hopefully,
assuming that they make Baylan someday, I'm looking forward to seeing how they execute the soft goods. Because when you look at the Luke here, the light cruiser Luke, his
Imperial.
They did a really good job with the cloak and the hood. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Baylan is executed, assuming that we get one someday.
Yes. He has like a cool lining on his hood too that I like.
I love around the front.
And I love Shin's design. She's got like on her Shin's and her forearm, she's got armor, kind of like Clone Wars era Jedi. So maybe like I don't know. I want to learn more about their backstory, but yeah, they're so cool in the show so far.
Yeah,
Marok is super cool with his like medieval looking armor too.
Yeah,
so cool.
He's got that dirt all over him, which hopefully by the time they get him in Vintage, they can do a lot better than they did on the Black Series version. But
you said it, not me.
But
as I just said, we saw them a while ago.
Let's go hashtag balls to the wall for Baylan.
Wayland for Baylan.
Yeah, Wayland for Baylan. Shooting for Shin. Hoping for Hati. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So if
Howdy.
we go back to
Sorry.
But of course, and the positive, yes, it's not a figure, but obviously they will never get the Ghost or the Phantom 2 in the other line. So that is a huge positive, but we need all the figures to interact with it. We need, everybody to build a full line in the world building scale.
Yes.
Yes.
And
so
can
many.
You just highlight, Can you just highlight Rogue Killer's note as well there, comment? Because I had those guys. I had those guys on my top 25 last year for March Madness because I just think they look great. Obviously, we saw them in Mandalorian, and now it looks like they're back, and it looks like we're going to see them again. So, yeah, it's. I'd love a 4-pack of those, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could come with. I want their ships that they had in Episode 3 with. They could be one with Shin and one with those guys or something.
Just worth noting with Ezra and the Ghost, these are things I tried to put little things to denote notes, and it's all spelled out here. But those are crowd funds. Those are from the HasLab. That is separate from the main line. We don't have to get into that too much, but that's stuff that is not pulling from the general pool for TVC. So we had to show up and invest for that. And I mentioned earlier to the Black Series, Ezra, John Yuke said it has the wrong lightsaber. Yes, it does. Just their version, they call it that it's based on Rebels season 3 or season 4, or it's based on the hologram from Ahsoka, which would have been filmed during 4. We talked about that earlier. Sorry to retread, just wanted to repeat it. That, for all intents and purposes, kind of the same thing, but with the minute differences that us total nerds that nitpick everything will latch on to. So,
and go check out the post that Evan put together on at SWTVC on Instagram. You can comment on that and keep up the noise. They've said and they reiterated in the last round of fan Q&A, if you want something, make noise for it. So I think we gotta, after we get the Ghost and secured and get Kanan and Zeb and Sabine and Chopper all unlocked, that we will be, wailing for Balin and shooting for Shin and everything else. So if you want, hoping for Hu Yang, missing Merrick, but
the hashtags stack up.
Yes, eyes on the prize for the next 4 days, but then after that, we will be wailing about all the Ahsoka stuff. Every episode, every 5 minutes, there's another amazing figure that I want from the show. It is so toyetic. It is so. All the droids, they're just amazing. I want all the repaints of all the protocol droids and astromech droids, and so much awesome lightsaber action and vehicle action and everything. And it's like this was like made for figures. Come on, let's get them.
Was it in our podcast where I mentioned that there was a glimpse of Ahsoka in like a blue kind of jumpsuit thing? I was like, I don't know what that is, but I have a feeling I'm going to want that. Well, we saw it this week, and yes, I do want that spacesuit Ahsoka so bad. Please God.
Your feelings were correct. You do want it.
Yes.
And a Sabine Wren brackets pajamas.
Yes. I want the long hair. I want the speeder bike version.
Yep.
I want the dual version with Shin, 2-pack with Shin, maybe. But
we'll always be asking for more. Never ask for less. Yep. Keep it up.
For now, it's nice to see that we're TVC is doing pretty well for Ahsoka so far. Yep. Always more to go. So if we can get back to the reveals now, if that's all right.
Yes.
So let's get to the pipelines. The pipeline was already pretty full, and it's even. The waters of the pipeline rush even stronger today. So before we got onto what TVC got, but before we get onto what TVC got, one thing that it didn't get, one thing that TBS did to point out is Moma Nadon Hammerhead.
Mama.
Who is, Mama Nadon now at the Museum of Modern Art, apparently, on the Hasbro live stream. So he, of course, is a hashtag finished the 96 character who... always ranks very highly in the SWTVC March Madness tournament. Has been made by Hasbro a couple times, but not since 2006, and never in the vintage collection. And when the Black Series Doc Ondar came out, it was only a matter of time until they announced him announced Moma for Black Series. It's clear would lead to this. And I just thought it was funny on the Q&A. They tried to play up the fact that the Doc Ondar figure doesn't have his beard because it was just so hard to do. It was too scraggly. They could never possibly do it. And it was like, come on, we know you're going to reuse it for Moma Nadon in 3 months, but
are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
So hopefully he's on the way for TVC2. People have been begging for him for a long time. Now they have the new digital sculpt. I guess something can happen. And Evan, as you say, can make then Doc Ondar a possibility for us. Put some robes on that guy and get him out. Now that we're finally getting some Disney Parks exclusive figures.
Yeah, that would be perfect for next Life Day. So
absolutely, yes. So what TVC got talked about him a whole lot. We'll talk about him forever. Chopper, my boy, C-110P. So Chris said he'll be based on his live action appearance, but the image, as always, confusing pipeline images. It's from Rebels. So that's why I said, who knows if it's going to be probably labeled as Ahsoka. This is in addition. This is separate to the mural carded version, but as we stated before, my guess it will share a lot of the sculpting, if not all of it. There are plenty of accessories they could do with him. The flame effects from his jet. They got to include the jet. His separate leg that he tries to get on. All kinds of things. Another loaf cat, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens, or probably nothing. Most likely scenario, but we'll see. Not a lot to say about that guy, but next one, another prequel figure following on Count Dooku and the Phase 1 Clone Trooper for next year. Another Attack of the Clones guy. Jango Fett, a deluxe release.
I am so stoked for this, dude.
To never see him on March Madness bracket again.
Well, yeah. So we've been so last year, I told everybody, you don't need to put Jango on the bracket because 90-something% of the tooling already exists, and yet still everyone was like, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna put Jango on my list." So he was on the bracket, taking up a slot when he didn't need to. Follow the directions, everyone, please, and thank you. But anyway, it's so great. Hasbro is listening, or maybe they planned this all along with the which Mandalorian was it? Was it the Super Commando that has the shins and
all three of them, the Super Commando, the Death Watch, and the other Commando Captain.
Yeah,
they all have different parts. They all have, the gauntlets might be better for Jango on this guy.
Parts that can contribute to this. Yeah. So the different Mandalorians that they've released over the past couple of years have contributed to the vast majority of the tooling that will be needed for Jango. So really looking forward to that one.
They said
hopefully, since most of the tooling is paid for, they can include more accessories and an alternate portrait and maybe a soft goods poncho. Like, who knows what this is going to come with, but I'm super stoked for it. So,
and as I said, I don't mind a removable head on Jango. He's one figure that works perfectly on.
Yeah. I still love the one from the Saga line that had the magnet in it, and boy, oh boy, it came out, fell off. You breathe, and it just. But yeah, just what you mentioned, Tyler, too, where because they called out he's deluxe, and since most of the tooling exists, hopefully they spend the money and the time and the care on a lot of the accessories because Jango's got a lot of cool toys, man. So
speaking of toys, the original TVC Jango was great for its time, especially with the amount of accessories that it came with. It was loaded with accessories between the headset piece and the poncho and the removable rocket and all the stuff he came with. But the one critical flaw on that figure was that he had his gauntlet blades out that he climbed up, the side of the platform on Kamino, but they're stuck out all the time. And so if you're looking for a definitive Jango figure, it doesn't really work for his, 99% of the time appearance. So, hopefully this Jango won't be stuck with perpetual blades out this time.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if he had his flamethrower. I know on the Din figure from last year, it had, kind of made the gauntlet a little bit bigger, but
I'm not sure how I feel about
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only downside, isn't it? Works on the deluxe, sort of an exclusive figure, you can kind of get away with it. But I think if we're going to have a definitive one here, rather not.
You don't want a rocket firing one that the same, the magnetic head one from 20 years ago.
Yeah. Or the one with the back carved all the way out to put in a big battery jetpack in.
Yes.
Oh, that's haunting.
Are we going to get both jetpacks, his Kamino and his Geonosis ones? I guess we don't know.
If we don't, we riot. Yeah, heard it here first. So we got a lot of riots planned, don't we?
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's tried this, but the original TVC Jango, does the jetpack from that figure pop into the newer Mandalorians that we've gotten?
I don't think so. It's a different that one was just a circular peg, whereas this has like the half moon kind of thing. But
the only reason I bring that up is because I actually prefer the Kamino style jetpack with the taller rocket.
It's the same as Buzz.
So
that's true. That's true.
Different coloring, and because
coloring,
all the new jetpacks all have a standard the half moon thing. So, and they've done the both sculpts already, actually.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Across
Yeah,
between the Bobas and the Mandalorian figures. So I forgot about that too.
So
But they
hopefully.
so the sculpt's already there.
Is this paint job the same paint job that that Jango had in the movie?
No.
I'm sure there's subtle differences, but
It's
it's supposed
similar,
to be
right?
the same. It's very similar, yeah.
Yeah. It could probably work though if you wanted it. But anyway.
His is more silver, blue, and whatever to match his armor.
Well, no, that's the
Geonosis one. Yeah.
The Camino one is very similar. It was modeled after Boba's Return of the Jedi jetpack. Anyway, stay tuned for lots of comparison posts about this now. So that's a new subject.
Rank badges were fun. Can't wait.
So, all right, next, another character based on Tamora Morrison is Rex. And they called him out as being from the Bad Batch. A minute ago, Lorena asked if it could be an Ahsoka series version, but no. Even though the images don't always line up, I'm going off what they said in the stream, and they did call out it'd be a Bad Batch version. So I'm hoping beyond hope it is not a repack of the Amazon set like Captain Hauser was. Please, for the love of God, do not do that.
So
if they're planning on doing that,
cancel it now. Scuttle it now.
Oh my God. The wrath from the community is going to be so bad if that's what they're planning on doing.
Yeah.
Please do not do that, Hasbro.
Especially since we have a clone sculpt that is
an amazing clone sculpt.
That is the only sculpt that we should be getting for clones anymore, with the exception of the ARC Troopers, because that's very different. But
well, and then and the Bad Batch set, in addition to being not the best, it wasn't terrible, but we have a much better version now. And then he had the longer hair, which they were just going to reuse for other clones, but the bald head, which they just painted. Yeah. But Lorena says too busy figuring out what a PLA was. But now they've got on the Colt figure, which I believe is the same head that's in the 212 pack for Waxer. They just painted the hair on because Rex's hair is so close cropped. I don't know how he can dye it and trim it so tight, but good for him. But I hope they just reuse that head and just paint it with a blonde haircut, because I don't want that inaccurate head again.
Yeah.
But we're always like just a little beyond getting the perfect Rex. So hopefully they can nail it this time. And I know he had the poncho, and he had like the helmet with the flip up visor in some scenes, but I just want the regular helmet. I want a regular all purposes Phase 2 Rex on a Bad Batch card. Please. That's what I want for this.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, that's awesome.
Yes, welcome. Glad you can catch the show.
I would love to see an actual donut van in real life. That sounds delicious.
Hey, Donut Van, if you want a Got the Ghost sticker, reach out to me after the show and we can make that work.
And Riley Bob right above that's asking, do you think with all the accessories and the comma and everything on him, will that be too bulky? I don't think so. I think they can make it work. They better make it work.
You would hope they thought about that a bit when they put that new buck together, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because he's got like space by the thighs where they can like the comma can kind of come out and stuff. So I think we'll be all right. But of course, that's another Bad Batch series figure. We're still waiting on any other member of the actual Bad Batch, other than we're very excited about the Rebels and the Ahsoka figures, but I don't want the other Bad Batch guys to fall through the cracks, especially if we're getting
that'll be the next HasLab Marauder and the rest. Of I'm just kidding.
For the 10th anniversary of Bad Batch. But we are getting a lot of figures from A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, PSA real quick, and I know Miko has talked about this a whole lot, but can we please, for the love of God, move the warning label so it doesn't cover Luke's lightsaber on these figures and the Hildebrand artwork? This is the chance. Could we slide it over?
They said
to the other side.
They said that they were looking at that just recently.
They look at a lot of stuff. They look at a lot of stuff.
Well, no, but stop looking at it and do it.
Right. Don't look at it. Yeah. But it sounded like
it's on their minds.
Yeah, that they are maybe gonna do it finally. I don't know.
So hopefully this is another reminder to them. But so these figures are Darth Vader from A New Hope, and of course they already released a Darth Vader as VC93, I guess, in 2012, and updated that a little bit on the Rogue One card in 2020. But now that we have the amazing Obi-Wan series Vader, that would make a much better upgrade. And I know Tyler's champing at the bit to talk about the differences in their armor now, but I'll say the everything but the torso works for an Obi-Wan, for a New Hope figure.
Correct. So
I want
can
the
I talk about it a
misshapen
little
helmet.
bit?
Yeah, they could do it. Yeah, they could do a slightly different helmet as
Yeah.
well. But at this scale, it's like, okay, yes, Tyler.
So for those of you who, pay really close attention to Vader's different suits, in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, his gloves have the horizontal ribbing, and that was used in A New Hope and also Rogue One, because obviously Rogue One goes directly into A New Hope, so he looks exactly the same in Rogue One as he did in A New Hope. And so Kenobi was kind of interesting because they put the unfortunately I don't have one here, but they put the inner tunic underneath the armor, but used the A New Hope gloves for his Kenobi appearance. So the New Hope version, all that to say, that's going to be coming is literally just going to be the Kenobi figure, except with a new torso, basically, where the tunic goes over.
You hope.
Hopefully.
Over the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't, they're doing it wrong. So I mean, but
my new fan theory is that because we see him for the first time with that after Krennic goes to see him, so he gets out of the bath and he puts on his clothes really quick and he messes up and he puts the tunic over the armor. But yes, then that's also, it's the same look as, so it works for Rogue One and Rebels as well.
And Rebels as well. Yes, thank you. Yep.
So it's another Rebels adjacent figure now.
They could just do the battle damage on the other side to do the Malachor.
Yes,
that's
yes.
honestly really true.
Very true.
That's an easy retool they could do.
And then if we could just
make
get
a very
Ahsoka
cool
to go
card
in.
back too.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
But for this card, since they already did the classic Kenner card in 2012, do we want them to do it again, but with a new number?
Yes.
Where are we at with
100%.
that?
Yes.
New figure, new card. Yeah, or new number. Sorry.
Well, but
new figure, new number.
But old card, I'm saying.
No, I'm saying new number. But
new
yeah,
figure,
old card,
new number. Okay.
Yeah, but they've
move
used that
damn warning label.
They've used it before twice, right? That
for multiple
that
numbers.
For
Yeah,
Empire and
numbers.
Jedi. For Empire and Jedi, but not for the Star Wars card.
Oh, not for the Star Wars card. Okay.
I think I can't remember if there's a comment I wanted to pull up here. But yeah, Matthew on this.
Yes, I saw
one
this
of the one
as
half
well.
of the Twin Sins.
Yes, it was the LFL 50, right?
Yeah, they moved the warning label. They just moved it right down to cover up the racetrack or train track, whatever you want to call it.
So they can.
I don't
they
want
can do it. So.
They can do it. I don't want them to move it there because I just keep all the actual.
Just move it to the other side.
Just move it to the other side and put it under the 4+ sign or something. Put it next to it. They got a lot of options. I would prefer they just don't cover the actual artwork of the card, which is
flip where the 4+ is to put that because it's smaller. So
it can be done.
Yep,
and hopefully it will be. Okay, yes, and then yes, Riley Bob is asking. We've had a lot of Darth Vader's on this body. He's still waiting for the battle damage Vader. Evan's been counting the days like Rey on his wall.
February 1st, 2023. It was pipelined. It is now September 2nd.
7 months later.
And
He's
each
got 300
day
hash
my
marks on
will
his
to
wall.
live has been eroded. So yeah, soon, please God.
I can't believe that's February. It's mental, actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And there's Entertainment Earth drops hints about upcoming product drops. And the September 15th, I think, drop looks like it might be that. Not, again, who knows, but.
Yes. Do we want to move on to the next?
Okay. Sure, yeah. So, and then I just rewatched this part before the stream, and they mentioned the next 3 are probably all refreshes, is what it sounds like. I know we all hoped for a new version of R2, but looking at it again, they're very explicit that the Stormtrooper would be a refresh, but I think the next 3 are all going to be refreshes. So, Stormtrooper, and refresh is the industry term for repack. It might have revised deco like photoreal. But usually it's like a package refresh of an existing item. So They said it's the latest classic Stormtrooper, which of course is VC231, which is hard to get because Tyler bought every single one.
I sure did. I'm just kidding.
Were you limited on Walmart? Were you limited to how many you could get of those?
It was so hard on
yeah.
Walmart to get. It kept popping in and out all the time. It was so frustrating. But then the Entertainment Earth,
I
came through.
I
I think some of the other fan
from Walmart.
channels.
So I will just say regarding the Stormtrooper real quick, it would be wonderful if in this refresh they correct the E11 that he comes with, because the E11 that he comes with currently has the sort of Disney era Rogue One flashlight on the side of the blaster, but what it should come with is the A New Hope style without the flashlight on the side. So Hasbro, if you're listening, use the correct blaster, please and thank you.
I want to ask Evan, you might know as the Obi-Wan expert here, because they don't have the holster in Rogue One or Mandalorian, but they do have the holster in the Obi-Wan show. But do they have the flashlight in the Obi-Wan show?
You guys think that I pay attention to that? That's cute.
There's not a single Stormtrooper in the Mandalorian that has the holster. I don't think so. That.
Well, here's a question.
There's some Stormtroopers in the original trilogy that don't have the holster, but yeah. Anyway.
Yes, I do know that, but
if they didn't correct the E11 and the packaging refresh, just because usually it's like, oh, we don't want to do anything different because then it would count as a new figure or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do. But if they didn't update it in this release, if they did, because the first troop buildup pack was at the time then the best Stormtrooper to date, but since then that's already blown out of the water, the Rogue One Stormtrooper. If they went back to that well and did a new troop builder set of generic Stormtroopers with this sculpt, and then the new tooling in that set was the updated or the corrected E11, would that make you happy?
Well, again, so the blaster already exists. It came with Stormtrooper Han, right? So it's not new tooling.
It's come with a number of
It's just in it.
Yeah.
So the tooling exists already. They just got to pack it in. They just got to pack the right blaster in.
But if I'm not mistaken, there's been times where they've mentioned it's like, well, we didn't use this accessory because it had the way that they
the
move everything around is just like
factories and
so.
Yeah.
But
and I will also say, for the sake of my eyes, okay, they've made this Stormtrooper available. Let's count the times. VC-140 Rogue One. This release, VC-231. So that's 2. The Heavy Trooper with the minigun. The Trooper Pack. So that's at least and the E11 version. Or the E-Web version. So no less than 5 times has this definitive Stormtrooper been available for purchase. So I don't want to see your 2004 Stormtroopers anymore. Throw them in the trash. Enough already. Go get a Stormtrooper. Yes. Good Lord.
And interestingly, but it's been available so many times. I don't think it's ever actually had a physical store in maybe GameStop or some of those Gaming Greats versions, but
yeah, the basic one on the Star Wars card was Walmart.
It'd be nice to have it. Yeah. If you ask me, they should have Stormtroopers always in rotation in the stores, just constantly available on the pegs in the stores, Walmart, Target, year round. Could be a smart idea.
Yeah.
Trooper packs. The Trooper pack sold out so quick. But if you go into the store, instead of seeing absolutely nothing on the pegs, why not have, a Stormtrooper? Tyler would have a cross-country road trip 3 times a year to pick them all up.
That would help keep us refreshing the pegs, and it would also be a more welcome sight than another Lando. So,
yes. I actually wonder how many they would need to pump out, though, just to actually keep them on the pegs, because people just snap those up. I mean, if they ever make it there, people buy them. But, you would have to be producing a serious amount of figures.
Imagine if there were as many Stormtroopers in stores as there were Landos. What a perfect world that would be. There would just be world peace. Everyone would be happy. Everything would be fine.
Crisis averted, everybody. Wrap it up. Go home. We're good. No more Landos.
That's the utopian society I want to live in. All right.
It's the new currency.
The next figure, who was again in the pipeline, or the refresh zone, refresh section, but was not specifically called out as a refresh, is R2-D2, who again is a character that I think should be sort of on pegs, available to newcomers all the time. But if it's again with the weird pipeline stuff, it was an image from Revenge of the Sith when he's on the Tantive 4, Tantive 3 is that one actually. Anyway, So again, these pipeline images are supposed to be in A New Hope figure, I guess. The A New Hope, the Star Wars card, was released 2019 with the Build-A-Droid sculpt as VC 149. So if it's just that one again, if I may request, I want a clean version of R2D2 to match the card art, because it will be the one that they did was so dirty in 2019. It's like a battle damaged one or something, or a Tatooine dirt or Dagobah dirt or something. But when you look right next to it, the beautiful, yeah, because I think the image, I don't know if it's the Yavin medal ceremony, but I think it's the Yavin. It's hard to see the backdrop because it's all complete darkness, but it looks like he's shiny and clean. And I would personally prefer that, and they need to add the little blue thing on the top of his head. That's my wish list.
Speaking of shiny and clean,
yes. What do you guys think about Vac Metal? Because R2's dome is not really Vac Metal shiny in the movies.
No, it's more dull.
No.
So,
but the Kenner,
we're too used to the Kenner one. Well, what was that one? What was that Kenner-esque R2 though that was recently in Ahsoka? That wasn't shiny either. Was it?
Even that one wasn't shiny. No, the one that's in the
E-wing
kind of chasing Sabine.
Yeah, it's not like 3PO who's.
We just did Vac Metal with the retro collection. So if you want a Vac Metal R2, I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't know. And it's implied that he's a refresh, but the Black Series is getting an all new R2D2 this year for both Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian. Same figure, different boxes. Does TVC need a new one, or are you guys happy with the Build-A-Droid sculpt still? I'm not happy with the Bar 2D2 sculpt, I'll say that. So I don't really want to see that again.
I like the Build-A-Droid sculpt. I don't want to start all over again with another.
I agree. Another design.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I do want more,
I think they need
of course.
to stick to that. That's the thing. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I think they need to stick, when they're making R2 units, stick with the one. You know, don't keep switching between the two, because that's just when it gets annoying.
Yeah, it's like with the clones. With all the not matching the size and
the heights and stuff. They could do a better third leg, middle leg with like an actually articulated one. Maybe they could do that as a separate accessory or something. But yeah, I see TVC Mac and just got in the comments joining late, so got to start from the beginning.
Yes,
see you on the other side.
Then let us know in a couple hours what we missed, and then we'll hop back on.
You only have a few more. Thanks everybody who's still watching. I know it's been a long one. I think we'll probably
we're
nearing the end.
Yes, so
nearing the end.
Appreciate you.
But so the next one, the classic PLA, is Luke Skywalker X-wing pilot, which this one has to be a refresh because it was a great figure in 2019. Again, both this and the Stormtrooper could use more ball joint hips. Not going to happen. Sorry.
This is such an underrated figure in my.
It's great.
It's great.
I love this.
I can't believe they haven't used it more.
I honestly think that Luke likeness is the best Luke likeness that we have. That's just my opinion.
Lukeness.
And as the added bonus, the helmet works with the Rey figure as well, doesn't it? Because they put a little groove in it that goes on the head. So
I'm really surprised that other than Merrick, we haven't seen any other pilots using that skull.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, that seems like one that they would have easily thrown out there multiple times since.
Another
trooper pack.
Yeah,
a PLA trooper pack.
Yeah.
Make it
I know.
happen.
Oh my!
Banging on the drum for Theron Net and stuff like
that.
Yes,
he's going to. I'm sorry, Tyler, but he's still going to be on my top 25. Even though until they make him, he's going to be. I'm still going to be beating the Theron Net drum.
Okay, if he can do that, then I'm keeping Obi-Wan on my top 25. Screw you,
gentlemen. Set the example.
We made the rules.
Follow the rules.
If they want to tool up another taller pilot body, be my guest. So then you can
I took Thrawn off my bracket, so you don't get to cheat. You don't get to.
Yeah, but we got Thrawn, so blah.
Yes, until we get Theron Net, I'm gonna bend the rules.
Yeah.
But so yes, for that, Luke, as we said, it was part of the San Diego Comic-Con Jedi Destiny set, then released as VC 158, part of the Triple Force Friday Rise of Skywalker wave, because it came out at the same time as that Rey, whose helmet it fits on, and the Red 5 X-wing, because it was coming back in that movie. And a lot of those figures are hard to get. Luke is about $40 on the aftermarket, so not like wildly crazy.
I'm honestly thrilled for another opportunity to get more of these, because I'll just shout out real quick. There's a guy on Instagram, Raptor Bandito, who made a custom Hoth Luke. He took the X-wing pilot Luke, and I guess I think he may have removed the hair, but he used the do I have it handy here?
I did see that. It looked fantastic, actually.
Where do I have it? Oh, I can't find it. Well, anyway, one of the removable hats from the Hoth deck officer trooper pack. He put one of those Hoth Trooper hats on the X-Wing pilot Luke head and put the X-Wing pilot Luke head on the Hoth Luke body. And man, it looks phenomenal. It's an awesome custom. It looks so good. So I'm going to do the same thing. I actually need to get Tauntauns. I don't have Tauntauns. I had somebody come over my house who's a casual Star Wars fan, and they were like, "Where are your Tauntauns?" And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" Oops, I dropped the F-bomb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
It's worth it.
But,
I assume we're all adults here, so
Yes.
everybody gets
I got
one
called
pilot.
out by a casual, man. I was like, the audacity. I apologize for the F-bomb, everybody. My apologies. This is the second time I've done that. I apologize.
Okay.
But my bad. My bad,
Can't keep it
guys.
in.
But I can't keep it in. But, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this lady.
need the
oh my
Tauntaun.
gosh.
Yeah.
Calling me out, dude.
But could be good to get a Tauntaun repack. But with some of these repacks, I do have to ask if will they be peppered into the main line, or will they be part of the specialty SKU that they've previously used for these repacks? Because they mentioned, I think when they revealed the Skiff Guard wave, they said they'd be moving away from like obscure characters in this and moving more towards main characters, kind of like they started with. And these are also similar characters. Black Series is in the archive line. They're re-releasing Vader, Pilot Luke, and Stormtrooper as well. So I think it's kind of an interesting coincidence. So stay tuned, I guess. I guess we'll see. But I think these are good figures to have out all at the same time. And then, oh yes,
I'm gonna get fired, man. I'm on 2 out of 3 strikes. I'm so bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're good.
Oh my god, the YouTube police are knocking at my door right now.
Yeah, no one has ever said the F word on YouTube.
We try to keep it family friendly. So again, I really do apologize.
Children are weeping across the planet right now.
We know children are our biggest demographic, the most engaged on SWTVC, and the biggest collectors of the vintage.
They want to hear us talk about this stuff for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
But so nice to see all these other New Hope characters, even though 3 of them are repacks. One of them is a new parts on the Vader. But there's one coming that's all new. Finally, the #1 seed this year in SWTVC March Madness, part of the Make the Main situation. You know where you love her. You thought she was going to be VC 300. It's Princess Leia Organa, A New Hope. Assuming she's not coming before the end of the year, assuming she's probably coming in 2024, it will have been 20 years since her vintage original trilogy collection figure, which is kind of crazy.
I hate when you say stuff like that because I don't think I'm old, and I feel awful when you say that kind of stuff. It kills me.
Yeah, it's so as I've said before, the Black Series so many times.
Yeah, Lewis, old man.
It'll have been 80 years since she came out in the Carolina by next year. But I speculated maybe she'll have Morgan Elsbeth's legs, but in the stream, listening to it again, they reiterated that she is 100% completely new. I think some people's heads would explode if they even saw Morgan Elsbeth's thighs under there, but
which begs the question: why do you?
That's the important thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, she has to do that R2D2 crouch, doesn't she? That little pose. If she can't do that pose, it's a foul, total foul. Because that's all that figure needs to do.
That better be the first glam shot that they release of that figure, is her with R2 doing the.
It'll be 4 days before she's not available for sale anymore. They finally send out pictures of her. When would they ever do that? But do we want a hood up? Do we want a hood down, obviously, but do we want a separate soft goods hood? Do we want a separate sculpted hood? Do we want that as a deluxe set with lots of
I'm thinking, so here's just how I'm thinking they might do it. And I have no idea. I haven't seen the figure. But when you look at like Kanan, right, with his snap-on, mask, right? Or his, for lack of a better word, I'm thinking they might have molded plastic sort of snap-on pieces that hook onto her shoulders or whatever.
That's,
I don't know. I don't know how else they can do it. So
that's what
figure.
I know it's 6-inch filth, but the figure arts import figures have that, like the Obi-Wan, like the Jedi, like they'll have like a hood that snaps into the shoulders that's down and lays back. It's sculpted, or you can remove that and put on the hood.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how they do it. I don't want them to do
I
a
hope they
full
get it right.
cloth. Yeah.
No, I don't want to. I don't think I want a cloth hood.
I don't know how they would do a hood that's completely soft goods on an otherwise plastic body.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
because
not
they did.
sure how they would do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if they have done that, but yeah, I don't know. So maybe they'll just have
Because
to
they've
do-
always done it the other way around. They'll do soft goods body, but with a plastic
Yep.
hood.
Plastic
That's
hood.
true.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying, like the Palpatine or mole. Yeah, it'd be
So this will be-
interesting actually.
And will this be the first all new sculpted Leia we've had in a while?
Yes, Lamar Avery brings up,
Since-
I wasn't happy with Bespin Escape Leia. Hopefully do it
Mhm.
right. Again, this is a new figure that Bespin Escape Leia used.
Was based on the
old
Hoth Leia
parts. Yeah.
from the first wave of vintage.
Yes.
Rebels Mall had a sculpted, a lot of sculpted.
Oh,
figures.
God. I feel called out.
So yeah, so it's nice to see. Yeah, like I said, even though some of these are repacks and existing tooling, it's nice to see. It's always nice to see a focus,
Mhm.
because Leia, people will see her, then they'll want to get R2D2 that's right next to her on the pegs, and Darth Vader, and now I can build out these my Tanta V4 set that I bought 3 years ago. By now, it's nice to see them fulfilling in these play sets years after the fact and paying attention to what people are talking about. Of course,
Evan, can you highlight Lorena's comment?
Yes. I was actually just thinking about that. The 5POA one. And same with Exile
like Palpatine
Luke.
and stuff.
Exile Luke had helmet.
Interesting.
So
Oh yeah, the 5POA one.
sorry. 5POA and sequels. Strikes 1 and 2. I'm fired. Sorry.
That's worse than 1,000 F words.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Tyler, you're good. I just incurred the wrath of 1,000 nerds.
So there's a lot of people excited
Events
about
primary
Leia.
edition.
Hey, Tarkin would be a great thing to throw into this,
Yes.
and since we have that Imperial officer, and there's this
Absolutely.
little mini beat here, come on,
He's right there.
right there.
Definitely want, but so real quick, just
It's-
for the sake of conversation, as far as the rank badge and the code cylinders, wouldn't Tarkin need a new torso?
Yes, because
he's
it's
got
very
2 on both sides, right?
yeah. Does Thrawn have 1 on each side? Now that we're back to
He's
this?
got 2, but he's got the collar. Remember,
right.
So,
Yeah. So a lot of the sculpting is the same, and then Krennic has 6/6 like Tarkin, but Krennic has fewer code cylinders. So we're circling the drain of this conversation, but circling the rank badge situation.
103 viewers. Sorry, folks.
Chewie picked
All
up
right,
one
so-
of my figures and brought it
Oh,
over
no.
to his bed. I
Mm.
see you.
When he
Well,
sniffed my General Lando. the other
It's
day,
been
that
nice
was a little
knowing you, Chewie. Sorry.
So we got one more
Funniest
thing in the
letters, but-
pipeline. If we've said already, we'll be talking about Leia a lot. It'll lead to other things, but yes, Simalu is next, of course, for finish the 96, make the mains, obviously.
Yes.
But one more pipeline, 2 figures, 2 in 1, 2 for 1, 2 pack. HK 47 with Jedi Revan. I wrote HK 87. I've got HK 87 on the brain. So Jedi Revan will obviously be a straight repaint of the upcoming Darth Revan figure, which is by all accounts doing pretty well, getting people excited, which we all knew would happen the second Darth Revan was announced. Black Series already did that, but this is actually the debut of Jedi Revan in 3.75 inches at all. There was the 2007 Darth Revan that they never repainted as the Jedi version. And they said this is sourced to the Galaxy of Heroes game, which I think Jedi Revan only appears there. I don't know anything about Jedi Revan, so there you go. But he looks cool, so that's all that matters.
I don't know too much either. Would it just be a straight repaint, or would any new tooling at all
Yeah.
be required?
Straight repaint and
The Black
light
Series
soft
one is a
goods.
straight. Yeah, the Black Series one is.
But
a straight
is it
repaint,
accurate
recolor.
though?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure in the game they just used the same animation model and recolored it or whatever.
Yep.
So, and then as far as HK47, they also said that was a refresh, which was surprising because he was previously only released in 2009 as a Build-A-Droid in the Attack of the Clones wave of Legacy Collection, which currently goes for around $100 loose online. And that one is later repainted as HK50, the blue version of him in another Legacy Collection Build-A-Droid wave. So
Which is interesting though, because that proves there's some legacy collection tooling knocking around there.
Yep. So even if Hasbro says every single thing is available to them, a lot of people have had the theory that they don't have anything from before Legacy Collection, from before Vintage Collection, that wasn't already repacked into Vintage Collection 1.0. But if this is a refresh, that would prove that to be incorrect, as you said. And Hasbro has said before, like, they only want to repaint stuff that they feel is worth it. Again, decide whether that's worth it to you or that's like good enough for nowadays. But before I realized it was a refresh, I was thinking they could use some of the HK87 parts because the vibe is the same. Some of the legs and the arms are actually quite similar. The torso and the head would have to be different. Yeah, but so I don't. So they said it's a refresh. So if we're going by that means repack, I'm assuming that just means a re-release. Yeah. So then if they have that tooling, then they should have just used the BGJ38 arms and legs for 88, saved themselves the money. But yeah, the BGJ38 repack. But
and he was talking about for 88, right? Isn't that the droid? Yeah. Yeah,
because they share the same arms and legs.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the HK47 figure is okay. I have it. Not to flex on you, but I have it. And
I don't have that.
It's fine. I don't think it has full like ball joint everything. Okay. So do you guys want just a repack of that? Are you fine with that? I don't think any of us are that passionate about HK47. I know.
No, I'll take a repack of that.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Because I don't have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So does this open the door for other Cantina and Jabba's Palace characters to be just repacked from Legacy? I don't know. I guess we'll have to stay tuned on that. But so other than repacks, gotta say there's a lot that have been made now from the SWTVC March Madness bracket, which did the numbers on that. So in addition to the, again, not to say hashtag you're welcome, but it has been nice. In the Adventures in Collecting podcast, again, Emily called this out specifically as something that they look at. Not that they're going against, some of these are already planned in the line, I'm sure, that we didn't know about when we did this, but having gone 3 years on this, it's nice to show support for them over the years and show that these, what rises to the top as we get different corners of the collecting community to come together and talk about this stuff. So in addition to the recently revealed Count Dooku, who won this year and ranked very highly in the submissions all 3 years and was number 1 last year, I believe, right? That's a lot of figures that are coming. So we'll be doing more thorough breakdowns later this month after our back to baths from after the Ghost HasLab campaign closes up. As we just don't look at screens for a week straight, at least. Please, for the love of God, I hope I can do that. This has been like a mini March Madness in the middle of August, which has been lovely to have.
Yeah.
But
who needs sleep, right, Tyler?
So as Admiral Akbar Mash asked yet again about the Vader Obi-Wan 2-pack, stay tuned. That's probably coming in a couple of weeks, but they have not forgotten
PulseCon probably, most likely. I don't know for sure.
PulseCon or right before, because the Entertainment Earth kind of teased it out mid-September. But yeah, maybe PulseCon. I don't know. But
hey, there we go. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, that's what we like to hear.
Kurt,
good job, Kurt.
Hey, reach out to me if you want a sticker. I'll have one waiting for you.
And Tariq next up after Kurt. Back to the Ghost. Thank you.
And Tariq.
I think that's pronounced Tarek, but
in any case. Is it pronounced Marek? Marok? I heard a lot of people. I don't know how to pronounce anything anymore. But thank you guys for backing.
It's pronounced Starkiller. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But back to March Madness real quick though. A lot of the characters that they've knocked out this year have been repeat contestants every single year. So we're gonna see a very refreshed and different bracket next year, which is a radically different one, hopefully. So
hope so, yeah.
Exciting.
Packed with Andor and Obi-Wan Kenobi figures.
Yep.
I hope so. Yes, please.
And Tales of the Jedi. But...
And don't forget my man, Dryden Voss.
Yes.
Dryden Voss is going to be number 2 because Hu Yang is going to be number 1 next year. Simalu can be number 3, actually. But so to that point, how many have been made or pipelined now from each of the years? So because there's a lot of repeat characters that come up over and over again. From 2021 now, 36 out of the 64 on the bracket have been made or pipelined, including 2 that are coming from the Ghost. If we get to that point, including all the Ghost characters, but if we get Kanan and Zeb. So I'm including Kanan and Zeb in these numbers. So 36 from the bracket, plus 8 more from the top 100 for 44 total from the top 100 from 2021. So there's a ways to go, but it's awesome to see that so far.
Almost half of the top 100. That's amazing.
Yep. And then I had some other number that I need to look up again because I forgot to add it.
That is so cool.
So from 2022, 26 from the bracket have been made and 5 more from the top 100 for 31 total. And let me see.
And is that not including repeats from 2021 or?
It's including repeats. I haven't done the whole no repeat thing yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, who's got time for that right now? We're trying to.
There are some there are. I can actually pull it up, but let me say. So back to 2021 real quick. The top 20 have all been made except for 2 characters: number 15 Cobb Vanth and number 20 Moma Nadan. So other than that, they have made all of the top 19 characters other than Cobb Vanth from 2021, which is awesome to see those highly requested characters coming in.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah. As Black Series will have Cobb Vanth number 3 sometime next week, I'm pretty sure.
It's like, are they allergic to Inquisitors and Cobb Vanth for TVC? But I digress.
It's bizarre.
But already from the 2023 bracket, and again, some of this is probably them already having things in the plans that we didn't know about, or looking at previous years of this to influence it in some way. Not to take too much credit, but they have given us plenty of credit. 19 from the bracket have been made from this year already, including 1 more from the top 100. So 20 total. So we're already a fifth of the way done with this year's top 100, which is just awesome to see that.
Amazing.
I am again so excited to never see some of these character names and have to try to suss out.
Pre Vizsla. I'm so
really
excited.
We have to talk about Pre Vizsla one more time when he ships for mail call, and then never ever again.
And then we're done forever.
And Revan, some of those figures just kept coming up every year, didn't they? And it is great to finally just
I'm sorry, John.
Tariq, if I am saying that correctly, yes, Count Dooku, it was pipelined recently, so he's way overdue, but he is coming finally. So yeah, it's nice to see that he is coming in, and maybe he can lead to a Tales of the Jedi version. So it's just really nice to see that. It's really nice to see when Hasbro listens to the Make the Mains campaign and the Velkin campaign, but talking about the March Madness. And yes, there's plenty of characters we still need. Luthen from Andor, Mon Mothma from Andor, Baze, Bodhisaw, all the other characters that are not on this list, and we will be doing a breakdown of all the characters that were not repeated. I might be able to somebody else talk for 2 seconds while I look this up.
Okay, not that I want to jump into this whole topic, but someone just asked me. I think it was Vance Armory just asked me. We've talked about
Vanth.
No, not amazingly. No, he didn't ask me. Well, that was among the questions. The Legends stuff, where now that Revan's kind of cleared out of the gate, he was the one that kind of Legends folks seem to support and run after, and that's something you've mentioned, John, where there's so many Legends requests, but what helps them is when it's a bunch of people rallying around at least one of them. So who do we think it could be next? I've been seeing a lot of renewed interest in like Dash Rendar, Black Series.
I was just
got
about
Mara
to say
Jade.
Dash Rendar.
So, yeah,
Mara Jade, good call.
So Legends fans,
course,
pick
obviously.
one, get together,
I'm trying
figure one out.
I'm having a brain fart here. Who's the other Sith Lord that's Revan's apprentice?
Malik.
Malik, yes.
There's so many similarly named ones. Malik, Malgus.
Since they're putting out Revan, I think it's possible that Malik could rise to the top this year for the bracket, but we'll see.
Sith are popular.
But also getting Thrawn and getting some of this stuff, from I know it's now not canon, but getting some of that stuff through Rebels, Thrawn, Ahsoka, you could definitely pull from some more of that Legend stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it for Black Series. They put out Nihilus, and they put out put out Malik as well. They put out Malgus. I know different games, but that new Malgus. I'm so jealous of that Malgus.
Same. It looks amazing.
And we just got a Chrysanthemum that they took the Boba Fett version and they gave it all the accessories from the comics. So they can do things like that where, and all the publishing figures in Black Series are just existing figures with different heads or different paint or whatever. So like they can do another Dr. Afro with, her coat or, things like that. So
for more on that, check out our now 2-year-old episode on publishing greats.
So I don't know.
We should talk about that again.
I would love to. Just
Not
to
right
prove that
now,
I
not
can
right
kind of
now.
read.
No, not right now. I'm saying we should do another episode on.
Oh
it,
yeah,
just
no,
because.
God, no, not right
Yes,
now.
yes.
My girlfriend is texting me just like, "Are you gonna come pick me up?" The answer is no, I'm not. So, got
We're
important
almost
stuff
done.
to do. Grown folks are talking.
Yes. Yes, a lot of finish the 96. We still need a lot of new media. We need a lot of old media. We need a lot of in between. It is nice to say again. We said it before, but with the pipelines, we've got a lot from original trilogy, brand new figures, prequel trilogy, brand new figures. Haven't seen those in a long time. Sequel trilogy, a repack, not the best repack. We'll get into that later.
Yep.
But Rogue One stuff coming. Every corner, every era of the Star Wars galaxy is being represented. A lot of from Ahsoka, could always be more. We need we need Hu Yang and Merrick and everybody and Baylan and Shin, but we always want more. We always need more, but it is amazing to see so much coming to Vintage Collection we've been asking about for so long. Brings it back to Rebels right here. The Ghost. Have you gotten the Ghost yet? Where are we at with the Ghost now? How many have we got in the past 2.5 hours?
About 2.
Gotten not as many.
The 2 that were in the chat.
Yeah.
Get the Ghost.
12,759.
Only about 30, 32, something like that. Not
Yeah, I
great,
don't know what
not
we were on.
great. Let's pump those numbers up. We were at 12,727 when we started. Now it's 759. Could have been a little better, guys. Sorry. Turn off this chat and go back the Ghost a couple more.
Slow and steady. At least it's going up. That's the main
It's
thing.
going up. It's going up.
And I know some folks tuned in late. We kind of had folks coming in. We did talk all about the Ghosts, maybe exhaustively at the top of the show, the first hour and a half, whatever. So if you missed it, go back, circle back. We might be able to help clarify. We may have clarified something you have a question about or something that you may have missed, or let us know on Instagram at SWTVC. Reach out to us if you have any questions about stuff. We have all of these posts that we've shown today available there. So find them, read them, love them, know them. Say thank you to John for doing exhaustive work on all that fun stuff. So we're trying to be a resource and provide all the information possible so that you're all armed and ready to go and get the Ghost.
Yes, get the Ghost. I'll just say again, the figures are exclusive. We went over it a million times.
They're exclusive. They're not coming back.
You can take it in parts if you think it's too big. And you can wait on a lot of the other items that are also shipping right now if you need to prioritize the Ghost. All your planets should be aligning around the star that is the Ghost. Thank you very much. However, I will say real quick, Walmart shipped my Arc Commander Blitz just now, so that's something. So we can close the book on those guys finally.
Also, one more thing on the Ghost. I just want to shout out to Padawan Bear. It's awesome patches. I got mine this week. So if you're looking for an additional little thing to commemorate you buying the Ghost and hold you over until you get the Ghost, 15 months from now or whenever it ships, that's a great thing to add to your little arsenal and let everyone in your life or around you know just how you spent $500 on a toy. So
yes, pull up Arthur's comment that he just posted. We will not be sending complimentary flowers to your significant others, but think about that. Save up for those too.
We'll sell a candygram. So we heard your husband got the Ghost. So.
Nice Blitz is shipping. Everyone, yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sharing everything about the Ghost. Thank you all for getting the Ghost, for spreading the good word. Let's keep up the fight for 4.5 more days.
Yes,
and then we
can all
almost there.
Oh, you know what? 4.5 more days.
Hopefully.
Speaking of, John, you and I are going to be doing another one of these live streams. Not like this, but we
God, I
will
hope
be...
it's not 2.5 hours that night.
God, I hope not either. But tune in and probably around an hour. More details will come, but stay tuned to Instagram. But John and I will be live streaming the finale of the Ghost campaign. So if that sounds like something you want to do on a Wednesday night, I'm not convinced myself, but hey.
If there's anything else to say, we'll come up with it by then. But
I'll check it out when I get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. But yes, join us Wednesday night for a live stream. Be right here on YouTube, and I will be giving away the rest of the Got the Ghost stickers that I have left over. So if you want one, jump in, and you might be able to get one. So.
Yes, and then we'll have you, all of us, back on for another podcast episode. Like we said, a whole post-mortem about the HasLab, what they did right, what they did wrong, what they could have done better, what we want to see next time. So stay tuned for that as well.
We did that about the crest, and we'll be doing it for the Ghost as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yep. Follow us on Instagram at SWTVC. Like our posts, subscribe, and if you feel like it, review if you listen to it. the SWTVC podcast, which you can get right here on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. And also, please subscribe and subscribe to this channel on YouTube and hit like, all that fun stuff. Sorry, I'm rusty on being all beggy about stuff because I'm not used to doing the YouTube formatted stuff.
We've
But
just
yeah,
been begging you to get the ghost instead lately. So yeah,
get the ghost, everybody.
Just want to say we really appreciate everybody that tuned in and everybody that threw us a like down there, a thumbs up. We really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for attending and get the ghost.
Thank you.
yes, thank you guys.
Heck yeah. All right. As always, unless there's anything else you want to throw in at the last second here, guys.
Hit us with the hashtags.
All right. First off, thanks to you guys for doing this with me and John for running point on this one as I was clicking around. Sorry for all the noises to everybody. Yes, I appreciate y'all. Again, seconding Tyler. As always, keep 375 alive, back TVC, balance the scales, Hasbro, clamor for Kanan, zoom to Zeb, get the ghost, got the ghost, Hu Yang Gang, Waylon for Balin, all that fun stuff. Get the ghost, just get the ghost. Oh my God, get the ghost. And may the force be with you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.